And everyone that's listening, the name is Law Nation. Come on. They say, ain't no party like a cowboy party. But what about a Law Nation groove? From Law Nation Studio, let's get it. That's exactly what we're gonna do. Come on. Let the room fill up. Be sure, and I mean just that, be sure to smash upon the like button. Sharing is caring, by the way. Sharing is caring. Let's go. Come on. Yo. Mama said there'll be days just like this. Come on. Let's go. We got a lot of things we're going to talk about, be about. You guys know how it is. Shout out to the Sheriff gang. Come on. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hey. Oh, appreciate y'all, man. I had to do it twice for some reason. But we are here live on this conversation, and I really appreciate each and every last one of you all. Shout out to the notification squad all the way up. Appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. All right, so, of course, pressure is a privilege. Dak Prescott, he spoke about things of him not being hit with the element of surprise, and I get it. There are a few people that will look at this whole situation as not an evaluation of player evaluation of 365. And we're talking about Trey Lance. Now, at a glance, you might be looking at this thing and saying, hey, man, what's going on with Cowboys? Is this leverage, dare I say? I'm going to tell you guys, some of you all are not familiar with the way this process is supposed to go and the way the general manager is supposed to operate within the confines of this team. You see, it's the general manager job, not the owner, but the general manager. But since we got two, Jerry Jones and General Manager Jones, here's how it goes. The general manager goes to the staff and he say, my job is to replace you if you don't have the results that I'm looking for, right? And the coaching job is, my job is to replace those that's out there that can't live up to the opportunity that I'm presenting. That's how it's supposed to be. Now, we bypass all of that and we go straight to the Jerry Jones got a knife in the back of Dak Prescott. No, this is business, nothing personal. And his job is to buy low and sell high. His job is to make sure that everybody on this team is not comfortable in a certain way. Those are the establishments, right? And that's how great teams operate. When it was time for the first 5 years of the Cowboys and from 89 all the way through the tenure of Jimmy Johnson, Jimmy didn't play. He didn't play because he had full control of being the general manager / head coach. And if you was late, the plane is pulling off, regardless of who you are. Michael Irvin, Troy, hey, the plane is pulling off. Now, I'm going to go back and go get Troy. But y'all give it what I'm saying. So the whole situation with Trey Lance, is he here to take somebody's job? For dog sure he should be. They can pretty much get Mr. Cowboy Nation. And if he is eligible to play for this team, and I see you down in the chat, if you can take somebody's job, you're supposed to be out there, right? That's just how it goes. Now, granted, when the expectations meet the reality of it, right? A lot of people are going to talk about the fact that Trey Lance was drafted 3rd overall in 2021, right? And some will say, hey, he's a bust, Law. Oh, man, he's busting. He's busting. But when you look at the full complexity of it all, the man is very raw. He's very wet behind the ear. He don't have a long resume. And the sample size is not to say that he's great or bad because it's too small of a size. I gave y'all the analogy before. And it's just like when you go to Sam Club or Costco's. The little sample food, they taste good, don't it? But sometimes when you get to the crib, you're like, hey, it don't taste the same. It's a sample size, So just like this right here, I've seen some people who gave false analysis of Trey Lance, and I've seen people gave pure factual analysis. But at the end of the day, it's a sample size. Yes, indeed. So it's not us to determine who's a bust. Steve Young, he could have been a bust if he stayed and played his career in Tampa Bay. You know what I'm saying? But he threw around, some things happened. And he went over to the Niners and he lifted up a Lombardi trophy there after sitting behind Joe Montana. There's tangible tape and evidence that even primetime for your mind, when he was with the Atlanta Falcons, if he finished his career there, he would never had a Super Bowl championship ring. Sometimes players need to move to go to other areas. Now, granted, Prime still showed a lot of people a lot of great things of what he can do when he was in Atlanta. It's not the same situation. Not one story paints it all for everything. But the reality of it is that sometimes you have to go to a team in order to win. I recall vividly remembering this guy by the name of John Elway. He couldn't get to win the Super Bowl until he had yellow teeth. That joker was 38, 39 years of age. So it took him forever in a day. But people saw the potentials. They saw the talent, right? And then we can go back into the history and say, man, Dan Marino, oh, my goodness. The delivery of the ball was there. The accuracy was there. But the collective team wasn't there for him. So that's just how football is. Football is a strange lady, and it's crazy. Maybe one eyebrow with hairy legs. We don't know. It's just strange with that. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate y'all. Shout out to Brian Broadus for coining that. So we got a lot of things to talk about on this show today, and let's start off with Dak Prescott himself. Let's start off with him.
Perspective and the appreciation. I know you have a lot of respect already for football.
No, for sure. I mean, as you said, I've got a lot of respect for it. I've been around for a while, so kind of understand the flow, kind of understand what you're trying to get. Knowing the quarterback, knowing what he's good at, knowing what he's wanting to do, I think is a huge part of it. And so, I give credit to that as much as me calling a couple of plays. As that guy played his ass off, and anytime a quarterback plays like that, it doesn't matter who's calling the plays.
Beyond the respect aspect of it and understanding what a play call is going through, is there something that is actually beneficial for you?
Oh, as a disclaimer, it ain't nothing wrong with the ladies with the hairy legs. You know, we here at Law Nation Sports, we appreciate all living lives out there. So shout out to the hairy legs community of the ladies. No offense to the hairy legs. Some people like hairy legs.
The quarterback to be on that side of it and just see the entire process in that way?
As I said, I've been around for a while, so that. It wasn't anything that I didn't understand that these guys put so much time and they put a lot of effort into. Once again, it's preseason football. Those guys gave us 3 coverages on the other side, and so, I'm not going to sit here on my high horse like I just called the Super Bowl or something. So it was a game, and it was fun. It was fun to do and fun to experience that.
What do you think of Will?
As I said, man, just played his ass off. That's who Will is. That's who Will's been from the time that he's been here. And it was awesome that he got to go out there and put that performance on display, and hope the rest of the world, the rest of the league saw that and took notice.
No doubt. And Will Grier is, let me get him off of this face, though. I pause him right there. Will Grier played phenomenal this past game. I think over 350 yards, 4 touchdowns, passer rating of 122. So if anybody can put their resume out there, should be Will Grier. The unique thing about this is the off-season training. I'm glad that it's one guy for all 3 of these guys, and that's my guy, 2 Live Craig, who worked with most of these guys, like the Trey Lance, like Will Grier, as well as Dak Prescott. This is phenomenal. Echo says, guys, everything Jerry says is word salad. This is how he keeps the boys in the news. Nothing special. Laugh out loud. Hey, he ain't lying. But it's truth.
He ain't lying.
It's truth into that word salad, though, man. You know what I'm saying? It's truth into it, because at the end of the day, Jerry Jones is an ultimate business guy. in the last 27 years, he's been in the Hall of Fame. He's been built two $3.5 billion facilities, one that you can just practice in, and the other that, you can go to the game with the roof peeled back. You know what I'm saying? And got sky mirror and everything else. So Jerry Jones is a very well thought business guy, on the front end. But let's listen to more what he had to say.
What do you think about the acquisition of Trey?
Obviously, understand it's a business. That's a first-round talent, and you're always trying to make your team better. But that was the front office, so we're going to welcome him as we do any teammate, and hopefully he makes us better, and then we're going to continue to get back at it and know we've got one goal as a team.
Do you know anything about him, like paths cross at all?
Paths cross, I guess, during his draft process for a marketing thing, and seemed like a great kid. Know he's a great kid. Know he's a great guy, I should say. And as I said, ready to welcome him to the team.
Back to the trade, surprise you at all?
To be honest with you, I'm not surprised by anything anymore. You've been in this league 8 years, been on this team. It's hard to say that I was surprised, to be honest with you.
All right, so here's the backstory of this, and a lot of people would not report this. There was a literally bidding war for him, right? I'm talking about a low-end bidding war, because if a fourth-round draft pick won it, then, hey, it wasn't that many people bidding for Trey Lance. Because from what I've known and from what I heard, I meant to say, is also the Bills. Yeah, the Buffalo Bills, boy, I love losing Super Bowls, also had their name in the hat for Trey Lance. Now, we don't know what compensation that they put out there on the table. It could just been a 5th or 6th round draft pick. But to showcase this, I promise you, the Cowboys community and SWAT, that I'm old enough to remember that just a few days ago, Isaiah Simmons went for a 7th round draft pick, right? A third of the base said, hey, man, he's washed. He's a buzz. He's trash, right? And some people said, 7th round draft pick, come on, Jerry. What we got to lose? And somewhere in a multiverse, there's somebody that the Bills done went on ahead and got this Trey Lance deal, right? For a 5th or 6th round draft pick. And I'm quite sure somebody would be saying, hey, man, the Cowboys should have got a legitimate backup quarterback like Trey Lance for a 5th or 6th, right? Somewhere, though, in the multiverse, that is what's going on. It's hard to appease all Cowboy fans. Look, for a 4th round draft pick, I know the Cowboys draft pretty well. But, man, we're taking a real slight gamble at this. For $940,000, that's all you can lose out on. I think that this is a real deal good situation for us, because on the high end, you can get, maybe a dog good quarterback that you can leverage to get multiple draft picks down the line. You can turn that 4th round draft pick if Trey Lance starts smoking in any of these games that Dak Prescott go out in, and you got to insert Trey Lance, and we're talking about for the future. We can see, just like what the Green Bay Packers did with Matt Flynn, right? We can get multiple draft picks in return from that, right? Not just if everything goes south on the better end of it, you got you at least a 1st round grade talented quarterback just developing slowly. Well, the Cowboys had a 2nd round draft pick on them, so we still playing with the house's money. Yeah, so JD says Bills, Detroit, and another team as well. Yeah, so let's look at this. This could be a positive thing for us all the way. Let's listen to that.
Speculation that this move would somehow strengthen the Cowboys' negotiating position with you when it comes to contract talks. Do you feel that it does?
I believe that those talks in the office where business is handled. So, that'll come a time when that happens. And so.
Would you have expected to hear from Jerry on this beforehand? He said he didn't tell you. Would you have expected a heads up or not?
I can't say that I necessarily expected it, no. I understand that that's business. I understand that they're probably on a timeline. They need to get something done. And as I said, he felt like that strengthened his team. And, as I said, ready to welcome him. And, what is this? We knowing the strength of the quarterback room that we have, honestly right now, my heart and my mind is with Will. And so it's a tough situation, honestly. love that guy to death over there. Plays his ass off. Comes in, prepares the right way each and every day. And yeah, I mean, as I said, we're gonna welcome Trey, and that's what you do for a teammate. I mean, we're excited. I'm excited. I'm always there to help somebody, help a teammate. Very selfless person, so that's not going to change by any means. But my heart's with that guy over there right now.
No doubt. So Dak Prescott, pretty much, we can tell by the countenance on his face. He's not like, yeah, baby, we got Trey. Come on, baby, let's go. You know, he's not like the doggone Michael Parsons when we drafted, dare I say, Mozzie.
Let's go, man. Let's go.
Yes, indeed, man. But it is what it is at this time. You know, and some people don't understand things until it's gone, right? And the countenance and the continuity of a team goes two ways, right? And when we want to look at this and say, at some point, do the front office look at Dak Prescott as a quote-unquote franchise quarterback? And I can say at this point, they're not giving us the answers to that and say they're standing on the table, banging on the table, and say, yes, he's our guy. He's our guy. He's everything we want. No. But sometimes some teams operate keeping their teams in the dark about the decisions that they're making, right? I'm quite sure Aaron Rodgers, all of those years that he played for Green Bay, he was sitting there like, hey, man, when y'all going to give me some weapons, man? When y'all going to give me a legitimate wideout? They was sitting back drafting quarterbacks. So he went through it. Hey, one of the best quarterbacks we've seen on this side of Mississippi, Tom Brady. They did it twine. You know, Matt Castle. They had Matt Castles out there. And it was another guy. Hold on, no. They did it 3 times. They did it 3 times. Who remember? Shout out to you, Robert. Thank you so much for the super chat. I think that they did it 3 times? Because and they could have did it 4 because he played forever and a day over there in Patriots, but it was never a comfortable bed all the way for Tom Brady, for crying out loud. I think Ryan Mallett was one of them. It was Matt Castle. It was Jimmy Garoppolo. And right before they let him go, they went and drafted Mac Jones or somebody, you know. So, and that was on his way out. I could be off with the time frame with that one. But that's Tom Brady. We like Dak over here, but he ain't Tom Brady. So they stay putting pressure over there on Tom. And cool Tom just stayed. Hey, I'm quite sure if you sat Tom down in the room and you say, hey, man, what you think about Ryan Mallett? You know what I'm saying? Or did Ryan Mallett go to the Patriots? I could be off on that. You know, y'all can check the history. Jacoby Brissett. See, it goes on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. You got to secure and better your best on all spots of the 53. On all spots, man. So see how that goes? So I don't want, you know, the 4-letter, the 3-letter network, they're going to confuse y'all into thinking that the Cowboys are the only team that did this. No. Other teams do the exact same thing. The exact same thing, you know. and that's just what it is. All right, so and I get where what y'all coming from, but let's listen to these people right here.
And my big takeaway is that, you know, Jerry picked up the phone and went after Trey Lance. It wasn't John Lynch begging someone to take Trey Lance on. And a 4th-round pick, to what Kyle Shanahan said, is, I think, better than what I expected, considering they had already buried him 3rd on the depth chart, and you're looking at it as, all right, why would I want, at that value, at that money, of the guy who isn't even worthy of your 2nd spot? Just take a look at the Trey Lance playing experience in San Francisco and how wild this is. He was the 3rd quarterback taken in this draft, and look at all of the other snaps taken by those other quarterbacks taken in that draft. Now, part of that's injury, part of that is circumstance, part of that is timing. Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't given.
Let's pause it right here. So, I mean, this is what they have during the 2021. Law just now coming out last year. Law the year before that and the year before that, people were looking at him like, hey, when there are ever going to see some of those Clemson Tigers traits, you know. And Zach Wilson, he's still picking up the pieces, man, and he was the 2nd overall. And we slide right past Trey, Justin Fields. this should be a coming out party for him for this season. Last year was semi. And shout out to Justin Fields. He's phenomenal, right? And then Mac Jones, he was all right, these last few years. And, of course, the expectations is going to always be high in Patriots land. And, shoot, he can barely beat out Zach Bailey over there. But that's a whole nother story and conversation for everyone. But I want people to understand that this dude, look how many snaps less. You can't judge nobody off of 263 snaps. Come on, even if he played phenomenal. Even if he had like 30 touchdowns out of 263 snaps, look, you still can't grade him because at the end of the day, teams going to do their scouting report tapes. And I've heard people who really love the 49ers, who actually went out there to training camp and beyond, and they said that Trey had the best guns out there. He was throwing the ball with the pureness out there. But every little small incident or INT that he threw, they said, hey, see, he can't read. Hey, he can't pick up the playbook. Hey, he don't understand the processing. You know what I'm saying? So, look, give this man a chance. Give this man an opportunity is all I'm saying.
Up that job once he had it, that point. And then Brock Purdy wasn't giving up that job. For Trey Lance to be traded for a 4th-round pick is a lot better than Trey Lance being traded for a 7th-round pick. But for them to trade a former number 3 overall pick who has only been given that much time to even play on this team is a wild what if. A wild what if. Now we know all the ships in the night and the sliding doors and how it all worked out. But what if Trey Lance is still a really good quarterback in this league? And what if, whether it's with Dallas or the team after that, what if he's worthy of the number 3 overall pick? We just hadn't seen him enough to make that justification. So I'm amazed this happened the way it did when you look at it from 2 years ago when they traded up to go get him, and it was the biggest story of draft weekend in 2021, to now it being officially over and him being a backup on the Dallas Cowboys. I wish Trey Lance well, but gosh, that was a strange experience for 3 years.
It's unbelievably strange. It's the fewest starts ever for someone drafted at that position. Think of all the draft picks that don't work out or just flame out for whatever reason. No one has had as little time.
Hey, for every Josh Allen, there's a Josh Rosen, right? So he's frozen somewhere. I don't even know that if he's still in the league, right? And truth be told, I saw Nate Peterson or Nate Peterman or something like that. I seen him. He's still in the league somewhere on somebody's team throwing INTs and stuff like that. So, look, give these guys chances, man. Robert, he says, I love Dak. To use his own words, pressure is a privilege. Dak will be better with this move. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He ain't lying.
Pressure is a privilege. And he said it. He got to live with it. This Rosen is still unemployed. Yes, indeed. So there's no end all be all, man. When you draft somebody in the first round, it's not meaning that they all of a sudden can walk on water. No, but teams have their plans and their decisions made, and it's all about picking up a right system for you. And I can hear people right now banging the table saying, shoot, if you can't make it work in Niners land, you can't make it work anywhere because that particular coach knows how to get people going. And let me see, I think I had some audio of the coach going through that process and talking about those things. Let me see if I can slide over and get that going for y'all, what he said. This is what he said.
I mean, I always feel like I let Trey down. I mean, I wanted him to come here. I believe in Trey. I believed in him before we took him, and I'm responsible for that. I didn't want to throw him into the heat of battle right away, but I thought he needed to play. So we tried to figure out every way to do that. I mean, if I can look back in hindsight, he broke that finger on a helmet on that 4th preseason game versus the Raiders. I wish I didn't put him in a play that had him break his finger, because I think that really hurt him in his first year. And not only did it hurt him not getting able to mix in much, but it hurt him in the practice time because he had to adjust how he threw and things like that, which I think set him back for his second year. When we went into the second year, we gave him every chance to do it. We were going to make an offense that, to me, gave him the best chance to be successful at that time, which we did do. And when you do that, you hope a guy can stay healthy so he can stay out there long enough. But that didn't last long. It was the first game, and after that, I mean, I always felt for him, and we continue to work with him. But sometimes things just don't work out.
Sometimes things don't work out, man. The one they got away, right? That's just how that goes. And, you know, I'm quite sure the guy that took Beyonce to the prom, he's like, dang, why I didn't let this thing work its way out? You know, I'm 10 times better looking than Jay-Z. You know, that's probably what he's kicking himself with. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes things don't work out, right? Zach says being a Cowboy QB is like singing a deal. Oh, it's like signing a deal with the devil. When you're in your prime, your backup finna take your job. Just playing coy. Yeah, Zach. You're right. Being a Cowboys quarterback is more so than being a Cowboys quarterback. You're going to have a target on your back. Everybody, mama, uncle, cousin, going to be talking about you. The 4-ladder, the 3-ladder network going to be talking about you. And on top of that, you're going to get quadruple exposed because the owner got two shows a week on the radio station. Even the son got 2 shows on the radio station, Stephen Jones. So those are 4 conversations about you and what you're going to do. And I'm thinking that there's a mandatory segment and station play for even Mike McCarthy to speak on his show. So yeah, you're going to get over-talked and over-analyzed. And that's how I look at it, you know. So that's just what it is, Cowboy Nation. Let's go.
I'm on the field for their team that drafted him as Trey Lance. It's the record by far. You know, when it happened, there was a lot of anticipated reactions, a lot of people just absolutely skewering the 49ers, who sure deserve some, but I'm seeing a lot of like worst draft pick ever.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that at all, because they did not get rid of Trey Lance in a vacuum because they don't like him or because he stinks. The Brock Purdy part of this is massive. They found a guy with a scratcher ticket at the end who is special and they liked, and that's the reason they let him go. It's not just.
And that's the bed that they're going to have to sleep in, for real. Because here's what I got, even with Brock Purdy. Teams don't have tape on him, but they do now. And teams were overlooking him when he was drafted. They don't now. And the reality of it, if they can force him to play left-handed when he's right, that's the leg up. Because their crazy stat line is he never played a team twice. So to mortgage your future on a guy, Mr. Irrelevant, is a risky move to take. Now, the Niners are the Niners. You know, that's their deal. We'll see them week 5. We will see them week 5. But for a security blanket, they do have Sam Darnold, right, who is a guy that had high expectations. Now he's on his 3rd team, right, as a number 1 draft pick guy out there for a team. Now he's on his 3rd team within less than 7 years. So that's just what it is, unfortunately. And listening in to my guy over here, Jerry Jones, this is what he do. This Jerry, he's in his bag, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not going to try to take him up out of it, because for whatever strange land that he brings, far as those thought tracks, he brings a lot of money that goes attached with it.
Also going forward after this year.
Well, he gives us an opportunity to do what we would always like to be doing. It would be ideal with Dak to have a young, prospective, developing quarterback that could just be in the room, I'm going to use the term, but be on the team with him, because this gives him not only an opportunity to take, I'm talking Trace, not only Trey what he got in San Francisco, but he can take, in my mind, one of the finest quarterback rooms there is, because Dak Prescott's in it. Dak Prescott's finest quality for me is how he takes what he does in the classroom and takes it to the practice field. So this really was in our mind very much, that he was going to be coming into this situation with Dak. Again, we didn't waste any time. The minute that we knew that they were serious about trading him, then we didn't want the phone to hang up. And we did it the equivalent of yesterday. And so we felt good about him, about him in the evaluation that we had for him in the draft. We felt good about what we've seen on tape that he's done since he's been in the NFL. And it was one that we just made the decision almost the minute we heard the name, and let's get him.
What are you talking?
Let's get him. Let's get him. This is the best way that I can say this with Jerry Jones. Player evaluation 365. And he's the owner of this team. He don't have to tell anybody anything, you know. I don't have to pick up the phone and explain myself to you, you know. I'm the owner over here, you know. I'm the one that when you see that check, my name is on it, you know. So it is what it is, and I see where he's coming from. But at the end of the day, he's pushing P over here, and that's just what it is. And for those who don't want to accept it that way, just read the tea leaves. That's just what it is. Now, granted, Dak Prescott himself, he can be like, man, I don't want to do this, but I got to do this. And I don't want to say X, Y, and Z things about my leadership, but I'm going to present it. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Look, Jerry is Jerry. Jerry had people believing that Brandon Weeden throw the best balls and people were buying into it. Yeah, that Brandon Weeden, dog, that Brandon Weeden, you know. And on top of that, you know, he had people believing, hey, since Matt Castle was here and he grew up loving Troy, that Matt Castle was going to play like Troy, you know. And that was far from the truth, right? So Jerry's an ultimate salesman. And when I look at this whole entire thing about X, Y, and Z, Dak Prescott knows it, and he should understand it. Because all of y'all, I remember, just like yesterday, yeah, that Andy Dalton, man, he know how to read defenses better than Dak. Oh, he's going to come in and take Dak's spot. Oh, and see, here's what y'all do. Not y'all that's watching, but here's what most of y'all do. Y'all would throw the rock, and then y'all would hide and disappear. Because there was a whole bunch of Andy Daltons out there that was saying that, hey, Andy Dalton, he's a real great quarterback. He just never been on a team that was just as loaded as the Cowboys. And we were sitting back going back and forth, and some people was like, hey, man, you just don't like Andy Dalton, man. You just a Dak lover. But let me know what Andy Dalton was doing over here. You know, basically with the same team that Dak Prescott had. He couldn't hit water if he fell off a boat. Man, they was knocking him around. He was laid out like Family Guy, and nobody came to help pick up the pieces on him. You know, we was sitting there saying like, man, put Gilbert in, whatever that guy's is, man, because he was throwing the ball a little bit better than Andy Dalton, you know. But for those who out there, those Andy Dalton people, you know, I'm trying to figure out where they at now, you know.
Talk to your front office, your other front office people, your scouts. What do they say about why it didn't work out for him in San Francisco?
Well, they didn't know. You're talking our scouts knew why it didn't work out for him?
Yeah.
They wouldn't know that.
Were you surprised that he was
San Francisco might know that, and their scouts might know it, and to some degree, but ours wouldn't. I thought that John did a great job the other night on their game. I watched their preseason game, and I thought he did a good job talking about just the nature of why they made the decision they made. But this boils down to how we evaluate him in the draft. It boils down to the fact that, frankly, apart from just assessing his physical condition relative to the injuries that he had, that was the first thing that I wanted to make sure we were clear on. But the idea of having what we had seen when he came through the draft and being able to work with it again with our quarterback room was just an opportunity that we have thought about many times, try to get to. If he had hung around long enough, we might have done this on the Philadelphia quarterback back 2 years ago.
Let's break this down now. Show of hands if you're an OU fan, right? Show of hands if you're an OU fan. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank you, everybody. Shout out to the OU fans out there. Show of hands if you're an Alabama fan, too, you know. And if you follow Jalen Hurts very closely, right? If you follow Jalen Hurts through his career from Bama to OU or what have you, let me know. And Mark says it, okay. BD Gray says Texas fan, which means I hate OU. He did. Hurts did play for OU, right? And I'm just trying to be sure, you know. So my thing is when we started to do the evaluation process of Jalen Hurts, I'm on record. I was saying that, yeah, you know, he would be a good pickup for us. And I think that the Cowboys had Hurts in the third round. I think that they had him pinned to the third round or what have you. And we looked at Jalen Hurts as a guy that his comps were everything what Dak Prescott is, you know. And for those who follow the team closely, we've been saying that we would love to have a backup quarterback that's similar to the starting quarterback. This was dating all the way back even in Romo years, right? Romo years, we was like, come on, man, why would we have one quarterback to play a certain type of way, and then the other quarterback, he comes in like a statue, you know? He comes in like, hey, man, what's going on? We needed some type of quarterback that's similar to the starting quarterback, and we did it one year with Stephen McGee, but he just never translated it into anything outside of being, you know, I'm not calling the player trash, but he just didn't show up. I think that even Tony played with him one time on the sidelines, and he said, you know, he scared them with the booms that was coming from Tampa Bay, you know, cannons. Who remember that storyline? But transferring or moving forward to this moment, Jalen Hurts would have been a great prospect to be behind Dak Prescott. It would have been great. And the Eagles, they tend to follow who the Cowboys say that they like. And whoever they bring in for those 20 days, the Eagles be looking, boy. You know, they be looking. They knew we was high on Dallas Goedert. Let me know if I'm wrong. You know, they knew we was high on Dallas Goedert. They were like, shoot, let's go ahead and try to scoop this in. You know what I'm saying? So when they catch wind and they try to jump all the way in, you know. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know, often imitated but never duplicated. You know, after 2017, they were saying they about to run a dynasty. You don't hear those boys anymore, right? You don't hear them. You don't hear those Eagles fans saying that anymore. And for whatever they did last year, congratulations, right? Congratulations. Boy, we enjoyed the Super Bowl. We enjoyed seeing them fold up like one of those Alabama chairs. You know, that's okay. But I agree. Jerry Jones said the right thing. I don't see nothing wrong with him saying that, hey, if the Philadelphia Eagles didn't draft him, he would have drafted him. But he do value Trayvon Diggs, and their scouting department value Trayvon Diggs higher than, dare I say, a Jalen Hurts. Come on, baby. Let's go.
So, again, my point is that we view it as an opportunity. We view it as an additional part of this team that could pay dividends this year. But certainly when we look to the future, will pay dividends in my mind.
Jerry, what did you guys give Dak a heads up that this was coming? Did anybody in your organization give Dak a heads up that this was coming down?
No. We didn't tell anybody until we did it. Period. There was nobody that knew it. We told Mike after we'd done it.
And you haven't
But my point is, we just wanted to get it done.
Get her done.
talked to Dak since then?
No, I haven't.
When you say you told Mike after, did he have any input on the decision?
Just that he liked him as a quarterback coming out. But that's our decision.
You mentioned that the scouts talked about they liked what they'd seen on the field from him in the NFL. What were some of the things that they have seen on the field with the Niners that they liked, your scouts?
He played pretty good in the rain in Chicago. So he handled the wet ball pretty good.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. All right, Sanjay says, go ahead with it. Yes, indeed. Appreciate you so much, Sanjay, for the super chat. You know, we really appreciate it. And it is what it is. If Jerry Jones cared about winning and providing competition, why did he get rid of Amari Cooper and had CD as a number one job? The Trey Lance move was about ego move, nothing more, in my opinion. Yeah, I feel you. Now let me touch in on that, Dan. Jerry do run this organization and franchise like a mom and pops, and there's no doubt in my mind, that we would have been probably a plus game or 2 games better with Amari Cooper here, juxtaposed to sitting here saying and painting the picture, hey, let's let CeeDee Lamb take over. And it took a few games for CeeDee Lamb to get his feet together. And we were probably burned by these boys not even being on the same page in preseason because they haven't played a single game in preseason. So we came into week 1 against a team that coming off of their situation of being to the Super Bowl or being in the playoffs or what have you. So in the last 4 years or what have you, and I'm talking about Tampa Bay, who said that they already had the blueprint on the Cowboys and how they like to run their things and these sorts of things all together. So when you start to think about that, we were set up for doom. We were. Think about this. The expectation still was the same, right? So even if we had week 1 with Dennis Houston, Noah Brown, and CeeDee Lamb, the expectations were that we supposed to beat the brakes off of Tampa Bay Buccaneers, regardless of what happened in that game. Would this team been better with Amari Cooper and a CeeDee Lamb that made it all the way to the goodness and graces of being even better than what he was a year before? Yes. And that's what I've been banging on the table with. So, yes, Jerry Jones do get into some of his feelings and his egos and say, hey, this man refused to take the hot sauce drip, and I don't like him anymore. And he cost us that game. He made me look embarrassed. He embarrassed me. So send him to the Siberia of football. Send him to Cleveland, right? That's what happened. But it's his team.
I saw where there might have been some criticism of that, but we looked at it differently. So we saw that. That's information that I got after we had consummated this deal. But fundamentally, we could make this decision based on what we saw in the draft, based on feeling good about his injuries, and based upon, frankly, he's been in a positive situation there in San Francisco. We think that that's been good exposure for him to be at.
No doubt, no doubt. Let me just ask my guy, burner account the third. He says, lost Amari Cooper and still win 12-5. So that means if you had Amari Cooper, you're a +2 win team. You know, you are a better team. You are a better team. It's no other way that you can really paint the narrative that you would be a less than better team. I mean, it just go line for line. You know, would you prefer to go to Noah Brown or Amari Cooper? Would you prefer to go to Amari Cooper or a guy coming off of an ACL recovery than Michael Gallup? That means that there will be less pressure upon those other boys. And just see, here's the thing that Cowboys fans and the team tend to do. We would get things started and then we would take it away and say, hey, we'll be better. We'll be better. We would see T.O. gravitating, even though, you know, he had his off-feeling situations with the team. But, shoot, they just read him up, and then they cut him, right? And the Miles Austin was just coming around the way. Can you imagine with T.O. and Miles Austin, right? You know, I think the contracts even overlap with T.O. and Dez, if I'm not mistaken, right? But we will see a person gain and get better, and then we'll cut them. We don't build upon that, and that's the issue. right? We didn't utilize DeMarco Murray. Think about this. We didn't utilize DeMarco Murray right until the year 2014. And then it was time to get rid of him. I can't make this stuff up. So it's a pattern of this not using the players the way we supposed to utilize them until it's too late. Right? We utilized DeMarco Murray to the right capabilities. Oh, now it's time for him to go. I can't make this stuff up. So it's an ongoing pattern of the way the Jones family do handle that side of it. 2021, Dak fumbled 14 times with 10 interceptions. But his turnover ratio still wasn't high amongst the NFL. And also how many fumbles lost, so we got to contextualize that. Just because a player fumbled, not meaning that that's a negative grade or a knock on said player. And if you're going to do that ratio, let's not just do it for one player. Put them up there with the other players that's also having those same disparities, right? Because it's kind of like this. Every team that either made it to the Super Bowl or won the Super Bowl, they had weapons added to them, right? And especially during the free agency period, right? And we just seen, if we want to go by interceptions versus production, there's a guy that's in Chargers land who never won a playoff game. And those things were never even mentioned to the masses about his money he getting paid. He never won a playoff game. He never won a playoff game, and those were the things that never was taught or brought up to anyone of saying, do he deserve his money? People naturally, organically say he deserved his money, right? And he never had a wide receiving core since day one, as it relates to Noah Brown, right? Or to the levels of saying week one, let's put a Dennis Houston out there. He came into the land flowing with milk and honey, with Mike Williams, with Keenan Allen, right? Shoot, and let's not even go down the pathway of even talking about Joe Burrows. They don't have the conversation about, hey, it's the running back that's getting all of the glory. Joe Mixon is a 1,000-yard running back, a double-digit touchdown scoring machine, right? And those are the goodness and the graces that the Cincinnati coming in. Okay, you want Jamar Chase? We'll give you Jamar Chase. They already had T. Higgins. But it is what it is. Let's listen to more of Jerry.
San Francisco. And then it's certainly based upon the fact that we've got, with Dak Prescott, we've got one of the finest rooms, for lack of a better way to say it, but we've got one of the finest places for a young, aspiring quarterback to basically learn from and evolve from.
Jerry, I don't know if you can ask this. I'm sorry if you have it.
Shout out to you, Common Sense. We got a super chat from Common Sense. He says, I find it weird that Jerry talked to Mike McCarthy about Cooks, Gilmore, Hankins last year, but didn't talk to him about Lance. Well, Lance was a very, very fast transaction, right? And on top of that, he foreseen that he had to get in front of the Bills. He had to get in front of the Detroit Lions, I believe. Those were the other two teams. He's the owner of this team. He don't have to answer to no one. We can literally go into the stadium this week, whenever the Cowboys play week one, I meant to say. And the field could be blue. He don't have to say to y'all, hey, I want the field to be black, white. No, I want the field to be blue. I'm the owner. He can have the decision whether or not he play with the roof open or closed. He can make the decision ultimately not to put Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Honor or not. He don't have to answer to no one. Who's going to make him? Nobody, There's people that we talked about that makes $80,000 a year. You can't tell them anything to do, right? There's people that make $150,000 a year. You go into that office, tell them, hey, man, I want you to go here. You can't tell them nothing. They high on that ego, edging God out, right? Ego. That's what ego stands for. They got people that you can't tell them what to do, and that's just what it is. So at the end of the day, it would have been wise if Jerry Jones would have picked up Brandon Cooks last year. We would have seen a better production out of this team. But nobody could tell him, hey, man, you might want to do this. No, he said, man, come on, man. I like T.Y. or I like Noah Brown. We like our guys. Yeah. IROC. He says, don't forget the curtains. Yeah. Jerry Jones is the type of person. If it's not his original ideal, then he wouldn't want it. If Jerry would have thought that it would have been a wise move, if he would have thought it first and said, hey, man, I'm going to throw these curtains out there and put some sponsorship opportunity that we can weave into the curtains. Shoot, he would have that out there tomorrow. But by it being not his idea originally, shoot, no. That's just how it is. But that's the decision that he made. And that's the decision he's continually to make.
How does it impact the negotiations of a contract with Dak? You guys talked all spring about wanting to get Dak done. I know Steven said we want Dak to be the quarterback for the next 10 years. How does this impact that?
You don't, it didn't cross my mind, period, about an impact here regarding Dak. I know that Dak wants to do anything we can do to improve this team.
Right.
And we're going to do it. The facts are that the decision to bring in as high a quality of talent as we could, that's evolving or a young talent that is basically gaining, improving, getting better that you would be as a young talent. That's something that we've been trying to do, but it's just never, the opportunity seems to be there so often. But we've been trying to do what we did today with this trade almost every draft since I've been drafting.
Is that why you didn't feel the need to talk to Dak about the decision even before or after? You said
well, I don't, we very seldom ever talk to anybody about another player about who we're thinking about drafting or who we're thinking about getting involved with. We don't do that.
Why was the timing now to do this trade? Why did you feel like this was the right moment to bring in Trey Lance at this point?
Well, I didn't want another moment to go by because they said we want to trade him, and we said done.
Just like that.
That's like that, almost just like that. But it was might a little more than that. But we didn't. but my point is,
he wasn't available.
We didn't want him. We didn't want him to hang up. We wanted him.
Jerry, I know you still have a whole season to go. We don't know how much we're going to see of Trey on the field or not. But have you given any thought to the fifth-year option at this point and what you guys are going to do there?
No. I mean, we're excited about having him, and we're excited about the terms of his agreement, and we're fully aware that we've got more money to invest in him next year, and we'll look and see what happens there in the future as far as the fifth year is concerned, or an extension of a contract. We hope it gets to that. Hope his evolving is at that level, and feel very good that it can be. But make no mistake about it, you sit around with your hand in your pocket and think about an opportunity or a situation like this, and it'll be gone.
No doubt. What if I told you guys, like Ripley's Believe It or Not, the year that we had Andy Dalton, and if you guys can remind me if I'm wrong, there's nothing wrong with being wrong with it, but I think that Andy Dalton, even him, he had got, $14 million to play for the Cowboys for that one season. And that $14 million was negotiated before Dak Prescott, if I'm not mistaken, before he broke his ankle and everything, before he even got paid his coins, because he was still coming off of that other franchise tag. Let me know if I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen. So we were willing to pay $14 million to Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton, he literally...
Thief! Stop! Thief! Come back, thief!
And y'all are complaining about $940,000 for he going to get for this year. And there's no trade clause on Trey Lance contract. We can cut the brother for crying out loud if he don't dwell well with us. And then the next year is $6.2 million. I think that's equivalent to breaking down to like $3 million a year. And Andy Dalton still playing. Ain't this right, burner account? Yeah, he's still playing. He's still stealing money. It's from somebody. So you guys got to look at the complete storyline. And on top of that, I'm quite sure that Jerry didn't pick up the phone and said, hey, Mike McCarthy, how you feel about Andy Dalton? And I'm quite sure that he didn't say, hey, Dak Prescott, why we got you on this franchise tag and we negotiating your contract, we finna pick up Andy Dalton too. Y'all let me know how much that money, somebody bring that back on me now. Now, let me know how much money did Andy Dalton counted against us, against salary cap, and plus, was it worth it? Because we could have added another piece to this team, juxtaposed to paying Andy Dalton. Come on. We ain't worried about his future deal. Andy Dalton just signed a 1-year, $3 million deal. Yeah, he's still playing the Panthers for a 2-year for a $10 million deal. Yes, indeed. I think it was more than $3 million. How much that deal was altogether? Can somebody let me know how much that deal was that Andy Dalton signed? I thought it was in the double digits. I thought it was up there about $10 million or something like that. It wasn't $3 million. I don't think it was $3 million.
You've always talked in the past about liking the idea of having a young quarterback to develop on the roster at all times, but it doesn't always work out. Was this move a little easier to make because you're coming off 2 12-5 seasons and where you were than it would have been if you were at another stage?
Mm-hmm. No, I think had we been able to draft him with next year's 4, the kind of talent he was in this draft, like I just told you 2 years ago, we were looking at Philadelphia quarterback, I'm not going to call any names, but looking at him, had he fallen to us there, we would have drafted him. It is our plan when we can, but it very seldom happens to have someone of high enough quality to be there at the right place with our draft pick. This one worked. And so,
high enough quality. Ooh-wee. All right, we got LT says Dalton has earned base salary of $1 million. And his signing bonus of $4 million, while carrying the cap hit of $2 million and dead cap value of $8 million in 2023. Yeah, that is crazy, man. That brother's stealing money. Dalton was just a 1-year, $3 million deal. So technically, we're not in the bed with, from what I know, we're not in the bed for the life of Trey Lance contract, right? So $940,000 juxtaposed to a $3 million deal. I'm thinking we coming out on top regardless, I don't know about you guys, but that is a great situation for the Cowboys. And even if something happened, we can still look back at this thing and still trade away or give away. Those are the realities of it, ladies and gentlemen. So at the end of the day, show of hands, would you prefer to have the setup just like this? Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush, Will Grier, or you throw in the fact with unbelievable upside, Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush, as well as Trey Lance. Now, what can happen to us in a great way, because I looked at this and I said, damn, was there ever really trade value for Cooper Rush, right? After he's 4-1 with the Cowboys. Only lost one time, or is he 5-1, something like that? I think he's 4-1. So you can parlay that thing and say, hey, if you still have Cooper Rush under contract, maybe, just maybe, if in a pinch, in a weird situation, he comes in this year, let me knock on wood, and he fool around and get a chance to play, and let's say he win 2 more games, or 3 more games. That trade value, even on Cooper Rush, will be high. I'm thinking a team probably can parlay that thing and say, you know what? We'll give you a 4th or a 5th for Cooper Rush, right? And plus a conditional 3rd if this will happen. And you can probably come out on top even with that. So there's so many ways that you can come out on top of this, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at it from that point of view. Now, granted, I get it. Some people are going to look at this and say, nah, you just don't play with fire that way and you just roll with what you have. But collectively, we are a better team than what we were last year. And that's how I'm looking at it. That's how I'm seeing it. And speaking of that, let's listen to these boys right quick.
If Dak was to get injured, he's been injured in the past. And if Trey gets his shot, and if he gets that shot and he plays the way that He was drafted to
is
play.
correct.
You have seen nothing.
You have
seen nothing to indicate
that is very Michael. That is true.
You have seen
But let's not say it's not a threat because it's not true.
Well, let's deal in facts. Let's deal in facts. We're gonna deal in facts.
Deal in
They
facts.
can't get out of Dak's deal anytime soon. Trey Lance is on a first-round contract in 2 years. They're gonna have that option to
We
bring
don't
up. They're
have
not.
to go to money.
They're not bringing up
stay on
the
the
option.
field.
They're not accepting his option. They're not gonna pick up his option if he's not the starter. So he got 2 years. You got 2 years. You're talking about a 4-year plan. You got 2. You got 2 to make a decision on Trey Lance before you got to pay him big-time money. And you're not paying him big-time money if he's not the starter. So Dak in 2 years still has $36 million in dead money. So if you want to get rid of Dak in 2 years in 2025, then you gotta cut him and eat 36 million.
It's not about
One
getting
second.
rid of him.
One second. What, you gonna keep him? You gonna hold on to him while somebody else starts? You are not.
Wait.
You are not gonna hold
What do
on
you
to
mean when somebody else is starting?
Well, let me
Nobody
make my
else is
point.
starting but Dak.
Okay, so if nobody else is starting but Dak, then what are we talking about here?
We're talking about in 2 years him getting backup money to be the backup to Dak Prescott by Cooper Rush goes and get a deal because he deserves it. That's what we're talking about happening.
Backup money.
So we're going to take 2 years to train him because Cooper Rush deal is up in 2 years. We're going to take 2 years to train him to be the backup to Dak. And then those next 2 years, he's going to try to train and become a starter. You don't need to go to Drew Brees or anyone else. Dak Prescott can go to his own situation. He came in and took that job from Tony Romo when Tony Romo got hurt. But now, wait. But Dak Prescott came right in and showed he can win right away. Trey Lance hadn't shown you anything that he can win in this league anywhere. So let us stop with this being a threat to Dak. It's a good asset for Dallas, but not a threat to Dak. I'm sorry, I hadn't been on TV in a while. I don't mean to take over nothing, but I hadn't worked
the playmaker, baby. Yes, indeed. So he's spitting at y'all nothing but the truth over there, man. And I'm behind the playmaker on his rationale, and his thinking of all of that. And for those who don't understand, you got to jump on the point with what that guy is saying, You
want to talk about a playmaker? That's a playmaker.
That's what he
made the play.
That's what he did. He made the play over here. So Cowboy Nation, here we got this 53-man roster. We're going to open up the phone lines. We could talk about the 53 on who going to make it through cut day. Because y'all know, man, hey, is it tonight, right? Is it tonight or tomorrow? I think it's Tuesday by 3 o'clock. Team's going to have to cut down to 53. So it's going to be probably one of those marathon shows tomorrow and what have you. But man, oh man, no more of, hey, if this guy can make the team, if this guy gonna make the team. I love it when we know who all is on the team. So that's what we like. We like to know who all is on the team. Let's go. 657-390-7391. It's the hotline for your mind. Shout out to you, Patrice. Come on.
There are 3 participants in the conference.
Come on. 657-390-7391. I got bro Jay. You're live from the 510. Get on in, bro. Talk to me, man.
Oh, man. Good afternoon, all, man. First of all,
appreciate you.
To you and your family.
Yes.
Mama Law.
Mama Law.
I can see that your mom's raised some great men, not just you, but also your brother. Shout out to Twin Maker. I hear him on the Niner, on some of the Niner content podcast.
Yeah.
And your other brother, the Eagle fan. Shout out to him, man. You guys are some great men.
Yes, indeed.
Your mama, I know she's proud, man. She's proud.
She is.
What we talking? We talking about Trey Lance or we talking about cuts?
I mean, we talking about, it's an open panel. We can talk about Lance or the 53 of who we want or what have you. The floor is yours, man. That's what we do. We give the floor to the people. Talk to me, man.
All right, man. But okay, I'm gonna start off with Trey Lance. Go ahead.
I'm
with Michael Irvin, man.
Yeah.
Oh, Dak do not need to worry about his job. I think this is the perfect place for Trey.
Right.
And it's just a win-win for Dallas, man.
Right.
You know, Dak, he good with pressure. What's the slogan?
Yeah.
Pressure is a privilege, right?
It's a privilege.
So it's a privilege, man. We don't got to worry about Dak. Dak is our guy. We're gonna ride with Dak.
Oh
But
yeah.
He's above head and heels talently better than Cooper Rush. You know, there's no doubt about that. Anyone who doubts that is just out there freaking mind.
Yeah, out of
Is
it.
he ready to go week one? Nah, he ain't ready to go week
no.
one. Not for the Cowboys. But I give him, let's say, scenario. This is the scenario, hypothetical. Week 5, Dak get food poisoning that day. Who are you going to put out there, Cooper Rush or Trey Lance? And Trey Lance might not have 6 weeks to prepare. Who are you putting out there?
Man, we're gonna put Trey Lance out there if he have time to prepare himself. Because I'm with this belief, and people may think that it's crazy, but if the 49ers had a healthy Trey Lance, like let's say Purdy went out, snapped up his elbow, and if they had Trey Lance last year, they probably would have beat the Eagles. I know that the Eagles' score is lopsided, but they just had Josh Johnson out there who couldn't really hit one if he fell off a boat. He was scared the moment was too big, urine running down his leg for crying out loud, and caused the other turnover inside the 20 and things like that. So Trey Lance got the capabilities. He just got to get the opportunity to match up with it.
Yes, I agree with you absolutely. But you know what? I think there's an undertone why the Niners really let him go, and I don't think it has to do nothing with football, bro. I think because I don't know if you remember, maybe a couple weeks ago, a national media guy. I don't know who he was, but he kind of said some out-of-pocket things that had, his vernacular wasn't right according to his quote race. So I think they got kind of have to let him go because they didn't want another Kaepernick situation.
Yeah, I heard about that, but it is what it is. Football is one of those things. Whereas it got a lot of PC stuff that's going around and making its way around it, and of course that thing, so it's crazy over there. So they removed all of that, and now in Ninerland they happy, so.
Oh man, they divided over there in Ninerland.
I'm talking about the people that wanted it to be done. They happy.
Oh, the organization? Yeah, the organization,
they happy
the
about
fan base? Oh, man,
they're
like landlord said.
We don't have to talk about this no more.
War.
Yeah, it's a civil war within, But I appreciate you, Bro G, for calling in.
All right, Law.
Good call from a man. We got a lot of people scooping on in here. I got my guy from the 915, Alfonso, man. You live on the Nation. Talk to me.
Live.
What's
good?
good?
What's up, Law Nation? Let's talk of who's going to make the team and who's not.
Who you got?
Dude, we got a running back stacked. I like what I saw with Hunter Lipke this week. I thought he wasn't going to make the team, but now I'm perplexed. Using high vocabulary on if we're going to take 3 backs or 4 backs. What's your thought?
From my understanding, they're going to take the. Jeez, man, that's rough, bro. All right, Tony Pollard, Rico Didal, Deuce. Those are your 3 guys that we know for sure making this team. Hunter Lupke, I think that you can slide him in as a hybrid tight end / fullback. I think he present more for us juxtaposed to Sean McEwen. So if it was my choice, we would absolutely take 4 running backs. 3 running backs, 1 fullback.
Got it. The other one, safety room stacked. Guanye Thomas, I fell in love with this guy. He was looking great. How are we gonna get him into this team? How does he make it?
He got two people fighting for him, and one being special team coach Bone Fossil. So that's good to have an advocate like that in your room. And then on top of that, coaches like him. Al Harris, Joe Witt Jr. both like him from the aspect that when his number was called, he stood tall. And then he did some corrective actions when he went and did some things wrong. So I don't think that you can stash and hide Wanye right now because of his skill sets and his ability.
Got it. Final one, receiver. I think Jalen Brooks is going to make it. I don't think Sammy's going to do it. And I don't think I told you. I'm a little bit. I don't know what's going to happen with Calvin Joseph. I remember I had told you he wasn't going to make it.
Yeah.
I want to know, do you think he's going to make it? Did he make the team or not?
There was a report out there for Kelvin Joseph and Jabril Cox that the report said that they didn't do enough. But what can be the saving grace for Kelvin Joseph is the fact right now, bones fossil. Bone fossil. And as much as C.J. Goodwin been good for us as the special team ace, I think that I would at least consider Kelvin Joseph over him for the fact that he can give you at least some reps inside the slot, whereas CJ, he can only give you special team play. So give me Kelvin Joseph over him, and Kelvin Joseph make this team because of that.
Roger that. That's all. I want to let other people get on this phone call. You already know how we're going to end this with the PPC. You got to say it with me, Law. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Puro Pinche Cowboys. For life.
For life, baby.
See you on the next call.
Yes, indeed. Lita La Raza. Come on, baby. You know what I'm saying? So y'all see how this goes with that being said. That will be the saving grace for my guy. That's how I look at it. I got the next caller, B-Bird, then it's Darius. B-Bird from the 409. What's on your mind?
Hey, Law, how you doing today, brother? I ain't talked to you in a while.
Oh, man, I'm doing well, man. You know, all is well.
So I am on the Trey Lance thing today, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I want to ask you a question. So
talk to me.
Do you ever think that this is going to be a tough question, that a quarterback, either he's going to be a starter or he has to get off the team? What I mean by that is, if it's ranking it from 1 to 3, and maybe 4, then you say, yeah, man, but, if this guy either going to be a starter or we're going to have to move him because it's going to be too much of a distraction.
You saying that you should move because of the distractions or what have you?
Let me clarify, because I have something in mind.
Go ahead.
So last year, Cam Newton made a statement that, hey, man, I'm as good as some of these dudes that they paying as backup. But the issue is that Cam Newton as a backup is going to pose a lot of questions and put a lot of pressure on your quarterback. Anytime he messes up, they can be like, well, we do have Cam Newton here and this, that, and other. So sometimes the coaches basically say that, hey, it's not. I know he's better than this guy, but it's going to throw off the hierarchy of our quarterback room if we keep this guy. If you get what I'm saying.
The old statement is if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none, right? Is that what you're trying to?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, what I'm trying, I think everybody knowing their role and their position in a quarterback room to me, I think it's some value to that. What I mean by that is, you don't want to be threatening your starting quarterback or bringing other people in, and that I think it's some sanctity in. Hey, I got a starter, I got a backup who knows he's a backup. I got a third guy that I'm developing. Maybe he'll go to another team or whatever. But the role 1 is defined, 2 is defined, and 3 is defined. Instead of, I got a starter, I got a backup who has potential to be a starter, who's right. We're getting him for the future, and I just don't really think that should be the hierarchy. I like the hierarchy we had with Will Grier, but I think bringing Trey Lance in, who is. And somebody might say, well, he didn't make, he wasn't even the 3rd best quarterback on San Francisco. Well, suppose he was the 2nd best, but he was going to cause so much confusion with him being there. It's hard having 2 young quarterbacks in the same place, right? Like Either one's going to be your future, and the other one's going to have to move on, man. You can't have 2 of them there. It didn't.
Well. Here's where we got to look at it. Like the same argument could be said for Amari Cooper versus CeeDee Lamb, right? Like this team need to be CeeDee Lamb.
They both on the field at the same time.
They both on the field at the same time. Yeah, but would this team be better with both?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just looking at it like this. Dak Prescott goes down. Wouldn't this team be better with Trey Lance juxtaposed to Will Grier? Even though Will Grier got experiences, but the upside of Trey Lance is everything. Think about this though. Brock Purdy last year. He threw for 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 1,375 yards, right?
Yeah.
those were Colin Kaepernick's stats the last time he played there, right? But one have expectations that he's going to become better. But there's no truth that he is going to be better. There's no truth that he will exhibit and exude the exact same temperaments and the skill sets of plays. Colin Kaepernick, when he left the Niners in 2016, he had 2,241 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. But the reason being is those two, with the same amount of games played, one is considered cancer, right? And the other is considered hope, promise, unbelievable futures for the future. But they don't know, because Brock Purdy could be folded up like a pretzel week 1 and week 2.
Do you think that is anything to the Joneses wanting to put their stamp on the team or by getting Trey Lance? Because I think that I don't understand why Mike McCarthy wasn't like brought into the fold if it's a football move and he's your head coach and your offense coordinator and you're bringing in a quarterback. To me, and I do understand you talking about a time crunch or whatever, and so and these things just don't feel right to me, man. I've been watching this team for 40-something years.
40-some years,
and it's just, and I feel like, man, I felt this is the year that I was going into. I just told Scott on his show last week before this happened. I said, man, I feel like, man, we're going to the Super Bowl, and I'm a realistic fan. I said, I think we've solved the problem with San Francisco because they do our scheme. Dak Prescott just don't lose to Philadelphia. Those are our two threats. I mean, we don't have an Aaron Rodgers over here. I felt real good about this, but I feel like right now that
well, what's the difference? What's the difference between this move and the Andy Dalton move?
Well, Andy Dalton, we know what he is. They're not looking for the future. Andy Dalton knows what he is.
Was he signed before Dak Prescott in 2020?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Was he signed before Dak Prescott in 2020?
I can't remember the sequence.
Do you think that would have put more pressure on Dak than anything than an actual Trey Lance?
No, because Andy Dalton had already been a starting quarterback and not successful. He was moving into the final years of his, hey, I've already been a starter, and only way I'm going to be a starter if somebody gets hurt. That he's moved into the latter years of his career. You know what I'm saying? And so he wasn't like we talking about a 23-year-old quarterback. So it's a whole different thing.
And Andy was saying that he didn't come in here to compete for number 2. He came here to compete for number 1.
Yeah.
Well, and the fan base was still great divided, just like the ice cream, because of 2019. They said that Dak Prescott, all he had to do was win us one game and we would have been in the playoffs, and anything can shake from there. But he couldn't win the game in the big moment. And the argument was that, hey, you bring in somebody who know how to, quote, unquote, read defenses and read offenses and things like that, he would fit better. And they was talking about West Coast schemes and system and that how he was going to dwell well with Mike McCarthy, and this would be a good situation because Andy Dalton in the perfect system should be able to take it over from Dak.
Okay, so what's your final? What do you think about? So you're pretty good with what they did. That's what you're saying.
Well, I think that it's extreme high upside to this moment, and the upside is that Will Grier will not be to the level that Trey Lance can become, right? And Cooper Rush averaging 17 points per game since when he's getting a chance to be a starting quarterback, meaning that he's a perfect bus driver. But we've seen the ceiling of Cooper Rush, and nobody knows the Trey Lance. Trey Lance may be everything. He may be, I'm not going to say Pat Mahomes, but he may be that in their eyes. So he could be. So that's why they brought him in.
Can I say something too, man?
Talk to me.
It's gonna be kind of strange for me to say because I've been talking like this. But if Trey Lance comes in and in 4 years becomes everything that Patrick Mahomes is, because he has that ability, I'm happy, man. But here's the thing I don't like. I just felt like that this year was already set, and I think bringing in a distraction because that's what that is. I mean, Trey Lance has led Undisputed and First Take, and the signing of a third string quarterback has led that. Why? Because people know what it kind of means in a sense, or they're thinking that it could be something that has something to do with Dak, right? So I mean, I don't want to come off to say that if Trey Lance fulfills the potential that he had when he was the third pick overall, that's great for us, man. But I'm just trying to. But we're talking 2025 maybe or 2026. Yeah. I'm talking 2023, man. We trying to win this bowl now. And I don't want to be messing with the psyche. And some people might say, well, if Dak can't take that, then blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you something. No other quarterback in their prime trying to achieve what Dak's trying to achieve has ever had to look over their shoulders.
I mean, let's be real, though. Although it's not the same, but it's similar. Jimmy Garoppolo was a second-round draft pick. You don't draft guys to sit on the bench, right? You draft guys to replace. And Tom Brady was under their scrutiny. It was like sitting there saying, and they was at odds against the head coach and everything else. Right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Jordan Love. He was drafted in the first round. Here is Aaron Rodgers sitting here like, hey, man, I'm 1 or 2 players away. What we doing wasting time with a quarterback? And that didn't go against well with him. And all he got to show for it is back-to-back MVPs, 13-3. So that was a pissed off Aaron Rodgers, right? And he refused to showcase everything. So I want to know what pissed off Dak Prescott looked like. If it's 13-3 back-to-back MVPs and he's sitting there saying, I'm going to stick it to the Joneses, then let it begin, because Dak should know this by now. He should know that this team is not finna lay it up for him, and they don't treat him like a franchise quarterback. So he should be looking at this thing like, hey, I'm finna set this thing off. That's the person that we want. But if he caved to this, then I wouldn't want Dak Prescott on the team, if that's the case.
Well, Lord, the thing about it is I think that what your scenario you just painted is the one that I'm looking for, because what I think Dak is going to do is, I'm going to tell you right now, and I've said this on other shows, the Joneses have shown by their actions that they don't really treat him or trust him as a franchise quarterback. I mean, the way they negotiated his first contract, when it first came up, they could have signed him. They didn't do it. Then they ended up, franchise tagging him. And so they still treat him like he's the 4th-round quarterback. They don't treat him like a franchise quarterback.
Right.
But my hope is that he comes in, ball out, and wins the Super Bowl, because I think we're set up to do that. I think the Joneses have finally added some veteran pieces. I think they've done great with that, man. I don't really like the feel of this. But feelings ain't facts, so factually it might be a good deal. But what I'm saying is, I just hope that when he goes to negotiate next year, and they start talking about, hey, a discount, he said, I'm gonna tell you about your discount, partner. Yeah. It ain't gonna work. Yeah, like what y'all say, today's price is not yesterday's price.
Not yesterday's price.
And so what y'all have done to me over these years, then we're gonna sit down at the negotiation table and take all those things intact. And I just hope you win a Super Bowl. And the thing about it is, one question before I leave, man. I'm sorry, we're gonna get off the deck. I got one question.
Okay.
You can answer it after I got the phone. Man, how do we got to keep Isaiah Land, right?
I mean, at this point, yeah. I mean, you got reservations on that front.
Way, man. This guy's killing it, man. I mean, you don't let a guy that gets to the quarterback with that rate. I don't think you even put him on can you put him on a practice squad?
Man, he gets scooped
we gotta find a way to keep it, man, right?
Yes, indeed. We'll find a way, man. We'll know for sure by tomorrow, and that's why I can't. Matter of fact, we'll know really, and we'll break down the roster tomorrow, especially when it's all said and done.
I'm HBCU too, so I pull for those HBCU, just like you. I pull for the HBCU dudes. I put the Prairie View A&M University. I know you went to Jackson State, and those are FAMU guys, man. So I really pull for those guys too. So it's another little place in my heart for him, but he has performed this postseason enough to win a spot. I'm going to holler at you later. I appreciate you, Lord.
No doubt, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yes, indeed. Prairie View was a good team out there, and shout out to Prairie View. But we all know Jackson Fair, D.I. Love. Y'all know how it goes. A great call from him, though, by the way. So he said pressure is the privilege. Jerry Jones just holding him to that, right? And I'm not trying to make it comfortable for anybody on this team, right? So CD Lamb shouldn't be comfortable. I like the fact that even Michael Gallup, he said, I'm not comfortable because JT is right behind me and I need to show up and show out for work. And Dak himself, he going to have the same mindset. Y'all think Jake Ferguson is looking at Luke Schoonmaker saying, Hey, man, well, hey, I supposed to have this role. No, that's a lot of iron sharpening iron stuff over there. Darius from the 214, you live on the Nation. Talk to me, man.
Law, what's happening? I just wanted to comment on something that you said. I think it was during the preseason game. You was getting on somebody. You was getting on somebody else. I forgot the man's name, but you was like, if you don't like a player on this team, it's the equivalent of you having a daughter that plays volleyball or basketball or something like that. And you was just saying how, like you if you down her, then like you're doing it wrong, or some to that effect. Basically, what I'm saying is, I'm just saying that I kind of disagree because I literally coach my nephew and I literally train my nephew, and this is what I would say. I'm very hard on my nephew when it comes to, because he plays tight end and D end. So I'm very hard on my nephew. So whenever he has a bad game, I'm gonna keep it 100 with him. I'm gonna tell him, bruh, that was cheeks. Ass cheeks, like you. The effort wasn't 100%.
But when it's positive, you still say positive things, right? You still motivate and push him. It's not to the point that your cousin, right? Your nephew, right? His nephew, right?
Yeah.
You're not saying you trash, you suck, you ain't gonna never make it to the next level. We can't ever win with you. We ain't never going nowhere with you. And if you that type of uncle, he ain't gonna be really gravitating to you. You know what I mean? He really gonna be like, man, Uncle be with that BS, man. I'm gonna go with someone that can give it to me objectively. Some people get the word objective mixed up with subjective, right? But the reality of it is that we all been around someone that's been a hard coach. You know, that been that coach that don't give you a slither of chances of becoming great because of the fact that how they put so much pressure on you. But at the end of the day, you know genuinely that coach really wants you to succeed. And at the end of the day, he's telling you things that you can become better at, not taking things away from you and hoping the opposite. So that's just what it is.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because I'm glad you clarified that, because I'm like, I don't really know about that, because as hard as I am on my nephew, I'm gonna just keep it all the way 100. Whatever I'm seeing, that's what I'm gonna say. Yeah. But sometimes I feel like some Cowboy fans, they just kind of like, they just want you to baby the players, especially that. This is my only pushback, Darius, is when people use the word never, you know, and then we seen people that did it with less. We seen people that's less talented did it. You know what I'm saying? Like the Brad Johnsons, like the Nick Foles, like the Eli Mannings. You see what I'm saying? So when a person say that they are a fan of the team and they look at one person that's an isolated situation and say, we would never win with Dak Prescott, that is not a fan, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's not just about Dak Prescott. But you will have a stronger chance of being right by saying that, juxtaposed to saying that he will win the Super Bowl or we will collectively win. Because if you think about it, in 1999, the Rams won the Super Bowl, right? Yeah.
It took them over 20 years to get back to that Super Bowl. I could have been the person that been sitting on the sideline saying, the Rams trash, the Rams suck, the Rams would never win with any of those quarterbacks that they had. And I would have been right for 20 years. 20 years. I could build my whole brand and franchise behind that. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? You see? Yeah.
Like it's almost like they angling. Like it's almost like they angle. Like even they do a lot of this. I know what you mean by that. Yeah. But like I don't like when you just can't keep it 100 on a player. Like and if you keep it 100 on a player, you're not a fan. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm so glad we got rid of Anthony Brown, because Anthony Brown was costing us games.
Right.
Yes,
he did.
Yes, he has good attributes. But more than not, I'm starting to see the man getting burnt, goddamn, on multiple plays and costing us games. Right. I'm glad that we kind of let Noah Brown go. I know his family got upset with you, but it's cool. Like I didn't like how they was like force feeding Noah Brown like he was CeeDee Lamb. Like we tweaking on that. You know what I'm saying? Like he's good, but he's not necessarily CeeDee Lamb. So my whole point is, I'm the type of fan that's gonna keep it 100. Whatever I'm seeing, I'ma say it, whether it be good or bad. And I don't like how people just try to dictate, oh, you ain't a Cowboy fan because you, man, shut up. I do this with my own family.
No doubt,
So what you think
doubt.
I'm gonna do with the players? Like, I'm gonna keep it 100, and I would hope that somebody would keep it 100 with me. Like if I play receiver and I'm not running good enough routes, say your routes is ass. You need to go work on it. That's
no doubt, and that is objective analysis there. But I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for calling in and bringing that point up. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, that's it.
No doubt.
All right.
Let's call from Darius. All right, appreciate him. All right, so as the plan lands right here, I just want to tell people that's what I say. I give you guys the objective analysis, but what people want to hear me say is, oh, man, Dak Prescott is trash, right? Oh, man, he would never win the Super Bowl as long as he's on his team. No, because when I give you guys objective reasonings, you guys then say, oh, he just pill us off and giving Dak Prescott the cupcake lane. No, I'm sitting here saying that, yeah, on that hitch route in the 49ers game, one thing, Dak Prescott shouldn't have thrown it, and two thing, Michael Gallup shouldn't have ran it. Two negatives don't make it right, And on top of that, the play option was terrible. Now, can we be a better team than what we were last year? Yes. We are already on paper, even by philosophy and principle and scheme. But there's not a person that can really break down what were the Dallas Cowboys' game plan against the 49ers. We absolutely had zero game plan going in there against number one, number two, respectfully defense in the National Football League with Noah Brown, with T.Y. Hilton, and my guy CeeDee Lamb. You're not going to win many games that way, by the way. Jay Recruiter says, if it's true that Jerry did not tell Mike McCarthy and Dak about Lance, then it's not good. They have nothing. Look, he's the owner of the team. He don't have to tell him, like, we're going to play with the roof back tomorrow. But I appreciate you for the super chat, Jay Recruiter. Speaking of Jay, I got Jay Worthy from the 256. You in the mix. Talk to me, Jay.
Hey, Law.
Talk to
me,
me,
I look
man.
at this as a win-win situation.
Yeah.
What do Dollar Bill Jones, as they call him, say all the time? Player acquisition is $365.
Yeah.
Why isn't it $365 for the quarterback? If we go into a playoff game, say, for instance, we train Trey Lance, he knows the offense, we get all the way to the playoffs, Dak Prescott gets injured.
Right.
For the first quarter, you get taken in a tent, get a little concussion. Who are you bringing in? Who do you want to bring in against the number one, number two pass rush? Because we're going to face maybe the 49ers or the Eagles, or let's just say Detroit, with a good pass rush. Who you want to put in, Cooper Rush or Trey Lance, Law?
Well, at this time, we will have to figure out the progressions of this 1 year. And if Trey Lance is not picking up the system at all, and I know for sure I got a quarterback that's above 500 in those games, and if the defense is rocking, yes, I'm going to still lean for Cooper Rush, right? But if the things have been changed through the course of the situation, right, and if you have the ability to have Trey Lance in there, then yes, put Trey Lance in. But I'm looking at the Cowboys. They may be looking at it, what just happened to the Niners, right? They was down to Josh Johnson, after their backup quarterback. So you want to make sure that you have this life insurance. A lot of people think that just because you purchasing life insurance that you're going to die tomorrow. No, you purchased that way in advance.
Exactly. And I look at it also as, okay, say, for instance, we keep him on, the books for this year. Next year, we're going into the preseason game.
That's a whole nother story.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. We're going in preseason next year. He plays phenomenal.
Right.
Look at, like you said, look at that trade capital.
Yeah.
Look how it's going up and up and up. You don't think somebody going to come up to us like, we'll give you second round for him. Right now, we need him. Because quarterback's going to get hurt. We know one thing's for sure, two things for certain. They're going to get hurt. And guess who they're going to turn to? Look at this kid right here.
Yeah.
He could be the future. He can be this.
Yeah.
We're not going to be picking in no lower than 15.
Right.
We're not going to be picking no lower than 15 in the first round. This is a good move for
it's a good
all
move
the way
for
around.
I think people overanalyze the fact that it's a quarterback and everybody is going to talk about that. There's no Super Bowl that the Cowboys won without distractions, by the way. That's just how it is. You go all the way back to Dwayne Thomas. You know what I'm saying? He got traded to the Patriots and come back. You know what I'm saying? Bring him back. There's always, look, that's what Big D is all about. The 4-letter, 3-letter network, they just got to have their doses of it. That's just what it is.
Exactly. And look, so I'm coming up on my 10-year anniversary, right?
Yeah.
In September. So my wife asked me, she said, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go?
Right.
I said, well, where do you want to go? She said, let's go to Texas.
Okay.
I said, don't tell me that, because I'm jumping right on it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking she want to do something for herself, and go somewhere nice and lovely. She said, let's go to a Cowboys game. Lord, I will be up there in November.
No doubt, man. Let's link up, man.
I will be up there Thanksgiving. I will be up there in November. What do you think I have to do? What Cowboys experience? Give me something.
Man,
my first game up there.
We will have a plethora of experiences for you, man. Stay tuned, man, and I'll hit you up with the updates, man. I appreciate you, Jay Worthy. Can't wait to see you, fam.
All right. See you then.
No doubt, man. That's Jay Worthy, baby. Hey, yes, indeed. All right, so you guys give me where I'm coming from. I got my guy, the man with the plan, $100,000 on the phone line, the hotline for your mind. What you got going on, fam?
Oh, I'm a single man. I need wives like that.
Yes, indeed. I heard Megan Thee Stallion. She's single too. You might want to hit her up. You know what I'm saying? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, shout out to Megan.
Boy, ain't many of those, Lord. Ain't many of those, man.
He got him a real one.
Anniversary too?
Yes, indeed, man. Shoot. Isn't she lovely? He need to be singing that song. Yeah. He need to be singing. Yeah. That joke need to be singing, boy. Hey, don't be making no more kids, Jay Worthy. Yes, indeed.
What?
Yes, indeed, man. Taking him back. Not for her, for him. Yeah, that's just what it's about.
Hey, any of those out there, holla at me.
Yeah, holla at $100,000. You know what I'm saying?
Direct you to my information. Oh,
yes, indeed.
Him. Sheesh.
That's what it is, man. So what you got for the show, man? Talk to me, man.
Moving on. Listen, man. It's when Patrick Mahomes went down in the playoffs last year and that backup came in and continued to do what he did. That's why they won that game.
I forgot about that.
Did you hear Mahomes, the backup, man, you got to look out. No, you didn't hear nothing.
Yeah.
It was like that never happened.
Yeah.
So y'all need to stop it, man. Listen, I would love for him to pass Cooper Rush to be our backup because Cooper Rush is trash. He trash.
Hey, you like that dude? Trash. What that dude name? I forgot his name. Trash. He made big money now. I might have to start taking his patterns, man, because he with Floyd Mayweather and everything. What's his name? Y'all hear his name in the chat.
He doing the thing over there.
Yes,
but I would love for him to be the backup behind Cooper Rush because they got the same skill set. You don't have to change nothing in the playbook.
Right.
Everything is just uniform. So I think they would trade Cooper Rush before they trade him because you'll get more for Cooper Rush because he's actually won games in the league.
Man. This is what it is, man.
And if you don't think they're getting calls for Cooper Rush, you crazy. They just not saying it because they
well. To be fair, Cooper Rush did hit the waiver, and 32 teams passed up on him, even the Cowboys, and then they was able to scoop him back to compete in this off season. So, but things do change, right? Situations and scenarios do change. Cooper Rush, we I'm gonna say this again because people think it's hate. when you say, hey, he averaged 17 points a game, when he was out there, the defense played lights out. And if all we
that's
needed,
probably why.
all we need is just him to hold it down the fort. But the Cowboys are making sure they doing just that. They purchasing life insurance right down the line just in case something happens. That's just what this is about.
And I'm tired of people blaming the quarterback for all the losses, blaming Dak for all the losses. You can't turn around and say Dak Prescott is trash. He lost us this game, but then turn around and say Anthony Brown sucked.
Right.
Not making no plays out there. The other Brown, the cornerback, is getting burnt. You can't make excuses. You can't make those excuses and then turn around and say Dak lost us the game. That's talking out both sides of your mouth. Am I wrong for that law?
No, you ain't wrong for that. But the quarterback, this is what they get all of the blame and all of the fame. So it's a two-way road. But 9 times out of 10,
Prescott go down and score a touchdown, and we got the lead.
Yeah.
And then Anthony Brown gets burnt.
Yeah.
And we lose the game. You can't turn around and say that's Dak's fault.
Right. I feel you, fam. 100 grand, and especially, that Jaguars game. There was a certain guy that gave up 2 touchdowns in that game, and of course, there was another guy that the ball hit him in between the 8 and 5. It bounced it in the air, and then the guy walked on in for a touchdown to win it. So it is what it is, fam. 100 grand. We know how that goes, man. But I thank you for calling in, Chief.
No doubt, my brother.
No doubt, man. That's 100 grand with the plan. And be sure to check out Graphic Zone HD. And the ladies, go check them out on Twitter, man. If you are willing to romance a brother over there. All right, I got Chris 214. You live from the 469. What's on your mind?
What's going on, Law?
Nothing to it, man.
I can't take this call right now.
No doubt, man. I'm going to circle back to you then. No clone Tyrone, you're live from the 202. Did they clone you, Tyrone?
Hello?
What happened? What's good?
Yeah. What's going on, man?
All right. I'm talking to the no clone one, right? You ain't clone.
Nah, you got the right one.
What you got for this show, man? Talk to me, man.
Man, I just think Prescott, I feel like right now it just from what it looked like outside in, Prescott, he under the fire. I mean, but like you said, eyes still shopping still.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I mean, ain't nothing wrong with good competition. And then at the end, I feel like Jerry Jones, he's doing this because it's insurance.
Yeah.
It's basically saying, hey, Prescott, you don't perform this season, we probably gonna take that $50 million hit.
Yep.
But if you perform this season, you might be one of the richest quarterbacks in the league. So it's a win-lose situation at this point. I mean, but Prescott, he grown, and then he a tough dude. So I mean, a man been through a whole hell of a lot. He lost his mother, lost his brother, and the man and broke his leg. Like the man been through just about everything. So it's just like I'm not no dot apologist, but I mean the man human. And, I kind of feel where he's coming from, but it's competition. You got to put a big boy pads on and just show up this season. That's all.
Man, shoot, those were his words. Pressure is a privilege, and now you got to play to those words. And my thing is, as a businessman, I'm trying to win at all costs. If y'all don't think that if you got a job and you working at Walmart as a cash register, a cashier, you got to know, man, you only got like 5-6 more years on that. I walked in one Walmart, all of them was like self-checkout. I'm like, wait a minute now, hold on, wait a minute. Where do I get it? I say, man, shoot, they've got to put me on payroll. I'm doing all of the work. But that's the wave of the future. Everything is going to be AI'd up in there, man. So if you tried to be an inspired cashier, you know what I'm saying? Shoot, your job tendency is not going to last 15 years from here, So that's just what it is. That's the mindset of businesses. That's just what it is. It's not for long, y'all. Not for long.
It really ain't.
Mm-hmm.
Prescott, for the most part, his body of work speaks for itself. So
it do.
He's our guy. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel like at this point he gotta play that position. Like you gotta play like you the guy.
Yeah.
You know, you can't worry about if Trey man he gonna get in the game or he might light it up, or you gotta play like you the guy. You out guy. You out Tom Brady.
Right.
You know? So
right.
You gotta play like you like you that man.
And the difference is, I'm gonna say this before I let you go. Dallas, 9 times out of 10, if you don't make it here, talking about the people that get picked up or what have you, you ain't gonna get another shot at it, because once you are axed off, it's going to be like, hey, he couldn't make it in Dallas on the biggest and brightest stage, man. They're going to figure out ways to get rid of you and exile you to no starts ever, you know. So, so it is what it is, you know, everybody that's saying about these things. And I think it's more pressure on Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush sitting there like, man, God, dog, you know what I'm saying? Hey, man, I'm around here. I only lost one game in my career, man. Y'all putting pressure on me like this? Come on, man. Wait till I get back out there. I ain't being nice no more. I'm going to be the real red rifle around here, you know, so he going to step it up. So this is all good stuff. Just like you said, it's a win-win for us, and it's a shame that fans of Cowboys world can't see this, right? But I appreciate you for calling in, bro.
No problem, man. You have a good one.
No doubt, man. That's my guy, man. No clone Tyrone. And now I got Too Cool from the 910 UN. Talk to me, man.
Hey, what up, Lo?
No doubt, bro. Everything is great. Talk to me.
Hey, so I got a question. So distractions, right? Everybody's saying this is a distraction. So right now, Jonathan Taylor on the trade block. So if the Cowboys trade for him, is it a distraction?
I mean, anything, man. We can pick up a arena football player, man. It's going to make the #1 news. It's always going to be a distraction. Yeah, it'll be a distraction for the time being, and the person that's going to feel salty about it is Tony Pollard, right? Deuce Vaughn may say, hey, man, now I'm going to get less touches. Rico Dito said, man, all of this sweat, blood, and tears that I put out there in Oxnard trying to stay healthy, and y'all going to replace me with him, it's going to piss off all of those boys, but it's for the better cause. It's for the greater good.
So for me, right, I don't think it's a distraction. The reason why I say I don't think it's a distraction because the players didn't ask to be put on the trade block or come on the trade block when they came on the trade block, right? So us picking up Trey Lance, he came on the trade block in the right amount of time. For us to say we're going to jump on it. However, if you look at it on the positive side, we played the Eagles twice. Cooper Rush cannot get in the backfield and act like he's Jalen Hurts. So when we run a scout team right now you can put Trey Lance in at the same time, see him develop and perform on the field as well, right? So, to me, the 49ers had the best game plan last year. That was having all the quarterbacks that they did have that they could put in when somebody get hurt. Cooper Rush comes into the game. He's not scrambling 20 yards, 30 yards down the field. Trey Lance can't. He's 6'4", 220 pounds, 23 years old, a project in the works. So we got to look at it like that. We have to look at it like that because I guarantee you, the man got traded for 5 picks now. 3 first round, 3rd round, and a 4th round now. That's 5 picks. Right. So if we have a backup that could play, all the interceptions that Dak threw last year, will we have not replaced him with Trey Lance if Trey Lance was on the team when we played the 49ers? We had nobody to go to. It's the reason why Dak stayed in the game after those interceptions because some of that he was force-feeding it to the receivers, and he was legit throwing legit interception that, to me, if we had a legit backup, his ass would have been out of the game.
Out of it, yeah. You're right, dog. You know, it's a conundrum with the fan base because I'm quite sure people still angry that we didn't make a move at Isaiah Simmons, right? But I'm quite sure that there's also people who would say, man, he was going to be a bust anyway. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's busting. You know, he didn't do anything in that area, right? So fans are going to be fans like that, man, and they only going to speak from their feelings on it and not going to give you the full, truths of it. They only going to speak from emotions, but it's business, man. It's business. But I appreciate you for calling in, Chief.
Hey, I tell you, Trey Lance is the future, so.
Hey, it's a win-win for us, man. You know what I mean? Appreciate you too,
He ain't
cool.
going nowhere. So tell everybody, stop saying he getting traded. He ain't trade value. You don't trade for him and trade him away. However he performs, he's in the back. He's quarterback and waiting.
Appreciate you, bro. Too cool from the 910. So that's just how that goes. I got the 4. It moved on me. 443. You're live on the Nation.
Hey, what's going on, Law?
All is well, man. I can't complain. Talk to me, man.
Awesome. Look, man, I've been on here for a while. I'm calling from the 202, actually. I'm from the DMV. Everybody in my family is a Cowboys fan except for me. I mean, everybody in my family is a Redskins fan except for me.
Okay.
I'm the only Cowboys fan in the household.
All right.
So I know what you're going through, man. I know what you're feeling with your fans.
Yeah.
So here's what I wanted to say, though. Here's what I wanted to share. When we're taking a look at the situation with Trey Lance,
right.
I think it's trade bait. I also believe it's a pressure thing. You bring Trey Lance into the room. You got to keep in mind, Dak is what, 30? Just turned 30 this past season?
Right.
Right?
Right.
Tony Romo retired at 35. Right? Now, quarterbacks don't age the way wide receivers do. They age a little slower. Now, keeping in consideration, if Dak walk out there this year and win a Super Bowl, you can't. You know how hard it is to find a quarterback to win 12 games a year, right? People forget what we went through looking for a quarterback, right? They forget our life from Tony Romo to Dak. You know what I'm saying?
Right. They think that's automatic. That's not automatic. But keep going.
It's not. It's not. And that's my thing. And that's what I'm trying to say right here is that I understand there being some pressure on Dak, and I appreciate that, and I think Lance will provide that. But if we play it out, and this is my belief, I believe this is how it's going to play out. I believe we're geared up to win a Super Bowl. I believe if Dak starts performing poorly and this pressure busts that pipe, then you start preparing yourself for the future. And it's like, hey, if we're out of the playoff picture, Cooper Rush isn't the quarterback of the future. He's not even the quarterback of the present. So let's see if we can start grooming somebody else to be that quarterback. But if you walk the table of expectation and Dak wins the Super Bowl, you're not releasing him next year.
Right.
You're not going to pay that $60 million next year because you can't sign any of your other free agents. And so the only way out of the $60 million is to restructure and extend.
All right, so they already restructured his contract, right? So he got like 59 or close to $60 million on the hook right now. So I'm with the belief that for next year. So I'm with the belief that the Cowboys are looking at this and saying, hey, we got to help out our bottom line. The bottom line is we got to make this big payment. Now, we still owe, in the midst of all of this, they still owe CeeDee Lamb's contract and they still owe Parsons' contract. So they're looking at both of those things, and just like any other business, they're going to put a look. They want to see if they can better their best on the bottom end, just in case if these negotiations don't go through. Here's the craziest thing about Dak Prescott: in 2 weeks, he don't talk to nobody as it relates to that because he's all focused in on the actual game. Now, his agency may do some things, but Dak Prescott is not going to do no negotiation during the season. So if week 6, week 7 come around, like that's bye week, and if we are 6-0 or something like that, that bag is going up. It ain't coming down. And the Jones family better be in front of it. The Jones family better say, hey, we got to figure out a way to extend now. Come on, can y'all help me out? Nah. But if it's the inverse, if we won in 5, then that's a whole nother situation. Yeah. There's a whole nother situation that's going to go on. They live through the pain and the misery with that. But I'm quite sure that it's going to be the inverse of it. But go ahead.
Right. And I believe it, and that's what I'm saying. I'm staying with the fact that I support the. Now, I'm not going to walk out there and say everybody who walk in the room is a great player and they're all going to be Hall of Famers.
True.
And we are all set to win the Super Bowl every year, because we're not every year. But this year, this defense is out of its mind. This offense just has the ability to make plays. And I just want to touch on last year against San Francisco. I watched that game. Dude, I've watched this. I've lived that pain so many times since the actual game.
Right.
Last year against San Francisco, we had a beautiful game plan against San Francisco,
right,
and we were going to kill them with it. If you remember, throwing the ball to Pollard out of the backfield was killing San Francisco. And then the play when they broke his leg, a couple of plays later was the turnover, and we weren't able to move the ball like that again.
Right.
It was throwing the ball to Pollard out of the backfield, because their whole thing was,
we're going to drop, and then you could see how deep the linebacker was when they got the interception on CeeDee Lamb coming over the middle. The linebackers were dropping 10 to 15 yards off, 10 to 15 yards deep over the middle. And so that's to make sure you don't get those deep crossing patterns. But what happens when you drop your linebacker 10 yards off the ball and Pollard comes across and catches a little 3-yard
give him ball in space,
whatever they call it.
Yeah.
You give him the ball in space, that's 8 to 10 yards.
Yeah.
When he broke his leg, Ezekiel Elliott didn't have that same ability in space, and that's where our offense went down. Because I'm telling you, when you force those guys to step up, and it's not even stepping up for the run, but your linebacker has to stay within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, those crossing patterns with CeeDee Lamb, that seam pattern with Dalton Schultz, all of that opens up. So
just quick before I let you go, fam. The two interceptions that Dak Prescott threw were both on zone defenses. Both plays, from my knowledge and my information of the football game, those two plays were not zone beater plays. Those were not zone beaters. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't, so I'm sitting here like, you got to – I can say, well, Dak, damn it, dog, you're going to have to at one point just audible out of it and get your zone beater plays in there. But he didn't do that. Whatever play that was called in the huddle from the sidelines, he did just that. He did just that. So it goes both ways when we start talking about football and its nuances. But I appreciate you for calling in, fam.
Thanks for having me on, man.
No doubt, man. And y'all make sure y'all get your zone beaters together, man, and beat that zone cover. And the 49ers did a hell of a job of sitting back in zone and saying, hey, there's two ways we can attack. A spider cast his web and sit back and let it come to him. He don't go around roaming and seeking. And the 49ers did just that. They played on the tendencies of the Cowboys, abandoned the run. They only rushed 4. They gave disguised looks at time, but they didn't really say, okay, we're going to come out to stop the run and force the Cowboys to throw. We're going to sit back in our comfortable dropping 6 and 7 and allow the Cowboys to make their beautiful mistake, and we're going to pick it off every time. Every time. All right, so let me let the next caller in. I appreciate all of y'all for being part of this network and help growing the nation. I got one of my favorite uncles over here in the cut from the 205. Uncle Charles, you're live on the nation.
What's up, Law? How you doing, bro?
Nothing much, Unc, man. Just chilling.
Man, let me make this quick because I think the fans got a failure to understand what we dealing with here. Let me explain to you about Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones don't owe nobody no excuse. He's a billionaire. He don't have to give nobody no damn excuse. He's a billionaire. He got a house on the water. He don't have to give nobody nothing. You know how many times that Jerry Jones don't pay somebody under the table? You know how many times that Jerry Jones, when he has something in his favor, he paid money for it to be in his favor? So, yeah, Jerry Jones don't have to give nobody excuse for what he do. He's the owner of the team. It's the way it is. Let me explain something to you, Law. Let me explain something to you. It used to be a time when I was little and I went to church, man. And it would be an elderly person up in church couldn't pay a light bill. And they'll take up a church offering and take up an offering for that elderly person. And some funky-ass deacon would go down there and pay it. You going on up, but things don't change. You going on up in church now and tell me you need help with your light bill. No, go on up in there. And they're going to let you in the front, and then they're going to let your ass out the back. Because church is supposed to make money. They don't supposed to lose money. This is the way it is. You don't have to give nobody no excuse. The damn deacon had been drinking all night. Everybody know he a drunk. Everybody know he smell funny. But yesterday he went back in that bathroom and let the door open, and when he dropped Satan's army in that toilet, he came back and everybody's ass was gone. He had an excuse. But it wasn't nobody there to hear it because everybody was gone. This is how it is. Nobody giving nobody excuse why they do anything anymore. Jerry Jones don't have to do that. Jerry Jones, I'm gonna make this. I hope everybody understands. Jerry Jones don't have to say anything. He's the owner of the team. It's no different than you and your wife sitting there waiting on the insurance person to come, and she's a female, but she's beautiful. No matter what you and that insurance lady talk about, your wife is going to feel a little intimidated. Why? Because she's stepping on her territory. This is where it is. She don't have to give you an excuse how she feels. She just feels the way she feels. It's the way it is. Let me tell you something. I'm going to say this in closing. I'm out of here. I'm going to get on up out of here. Let me tell you something. I had a friend. He was born with one leg longer than the other. And we were walking on the side of the road. While I was walking, he was hopping. And all of a sudden, we decided to go across the road. But in the distance was a truck. He said, I can't make it. I looked around, he passed me. And why did he pass me? Because even though he had one leg longer than the other, he sensed danger that truck was going to hit him. So he said in his mind, I'd rather live with one leg longer than the other than to live with no legs at all. This is it. He didn't have to give me an excuse why he passed me. He sensed danger. It's the way it is, and it's the way it's going to be. I understand that part, but I also understand Jerry Jones' part. Jerry Jones don't have to give nobody an excuse. He is the owner. He got a damn house on the water. He ain't got to explain that. The Bible said the poor will be with us always. It will always be somebody poor, and it will always be somebody rich. And that's the way it is. I appreciate you, Lord.
No doubt, man. Oh, my goodness, man. That's Uncle Charles, man. That's Uncle Charles, man, with all of that goodness and wisdom and understanding.
Sacrifice, don't give up.
Don't give up, baby.
Everything will be all right on any given Sunday, yeah.
Come on.
Depend on you.
Let's get it.
If you win or lose.
Come on, y'all.
You know you got to pay some dues to live on Monday, yeah.
Man. This is how it is. The world is different, man. His ways is not our ways. He would take the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. He would do just that. You'd be sitting here thinking that how that's supposed to happen? That ain't supposed to happen. That guy ain't supposed to. No. And that's just how it goes, y'all. And when Jerry Jones is the owner of this team, he's the end all be all. He is exactly what the creator says when you are owner. He owns it. He can literally say, I'm cutting everybody from the team tomorrow, who's not under contract. He can do that. It's his decision, So Jerry Jones is nuts, but we could be yelling to him, hey, man, do it this way, do it that way. He the one said, I'm the man with the check. I'm not listening to you or you. Come on, man. Come on. I got my guy from 1992. Dallas Cowboy, you live, fam. Talk to me.
What's up, Law? How you doing, Law?
All is well, Chief. Can't complain. Talk to me, man. What's on your heart?
I'm going to say this, man. I got a question.
What up?
Are bumblebees supposed to fly, bro? Are bumblebees supposed to fly? Yes or no, Law?
Yeah, but, theoretically, by their genetic makeup, is almost damn near impossible on how they fly because of their body-to-wing ratio. But, yeah, they can fly, but technically they don't supposed to fly.
That's right, and I'm going to say this. When Dak Prescott came to Dallas as a fourth-round draft pick, what was the expectations of Dak? Was he supposed to be flying right now, or he was supposed to just be cruising or just, somewhere chilling somewhere, not even on an NFL roster right now? Because last time I checked, look at all them quarterbacks that came out the same draft that Dak came out of. These people should ask themselves, where they at?
Amen.
Where's Pastor Lick at?
Keep going. Amen.
Where? Yeah, go ahead, Law. Go ahead.
No, I'm thinking there's only Jacoby Brissett and Dak is the only two that's playing in the league, if I'm not mistaken. We already know what happened to Jacoby Brissett. We already know what his markers are, and I think wasn't Jacoby drafted before or after Dak? It really don't matter though because it's just those two.
It don't matter. The point is, I'm trying to say, according to against all odds.
Golf. Oh, excuse me. Golf is still there out there, by the way. So
golf. But look, he was supposed to be. He was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Now, imagine this. Imagine if Dak was in golf shoes. How much would they talk? And on top of that, he would have had. Well, he do have a Cowboy star. But imagine Dak. He was drafted number 1, like golf. and still was doing the same thing they claim he's doing right now or worse, how would they really talk about Dak? And let's say Goff was drafted in Dak's situation in the 4th round, but yet doing the things that Dak is doing right now. What would everybody really have to say?
They be saying, man, that dude came out of nowhere and he made it to the block. Man, they've been pumping up Goff. But I get where you're going. I get where you're going from.
There you go. There you go. So they don't have no love and no respect for Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is a gift. He's a gift that shouldn't have been a gift. And this is how God is. Since when you're ungrateful, when you're ungrateful, Dallas, I'm talking about Dallas. I'm going to zoom in on the Cowboy Nation right now.
Okay.
Forget all the outsiders. I'm zooming in on the Dallas Cowboy Nation. How can you be so ungrateful, Dallas Cowboy Nation? Well, first of all, you true fans out there. Do you know what it was like having I'm gonna go in the order that I can remember.
Go ahead.
After the fall of Troy. I remember with Tony Banks, washed up Randall Cunningham, okay? Clint Sterner, Anthony Wright, okay? Yeah. I'm gonna show you how real I am. And who else we had?
Drew, don't leave out Drew Henson, man. He got the good arm. Hey, and don't leave out Ryan Leaf.
Ryan Leaf. You just took the words out of my mouth. Ryan, let me tell you how bad he was, if y'all can remember. He was so bad that he came in on a Thanksgiving game and he went back on the side of the bench and then was released the next following week. If I'm not mistaken, okay? And then we had Vinny Testaverde, okay?
Oh, yeah, Vinny.
How long did that last? Then after Vinny Testaverde, Drew Bledsoe, and then we got lucked up with Mr. Tony Romo, okay?
Yeah.
And then the rest was history. So what I'm saying to you all, that's false Cowboys fans out here, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth about Dak Prescott, okay? Because he's a gift from God. He's a gift. And you should be happy for what you have, because it could have been a whole lot worse. I was there for them years 5 and 11. After witnessing 3 Super Bowls out of 5, okay? I know how it feels to win, and it's been a long time, okay? But don't you sit there and try Dak Prescott like that. He's a gift from God. He's that proverbial bumblebee that was not supposed to fly and take off. But yet he's flying. Let me show you how blind you are, you spiritually blinded Cowboy fans. He's flying above you, and you don't even see him flying because you're so worried about, he was a 4th-round draft pick. We got Cooper Rush that we know Cooper Rush came and throw down the middle of the damn field. That's why the Eagles, they sat back and let them, the same way the 49ers were playing, how every team was playing Cooper Rush, okay? And the defense had to back us up, okay? Now we got Dak. Dak is here to win, and he's going to get us that 6th ring. I'm keep telling everybody, when he gives that 6th ring, y'all better bow. Y'all going to all bow to Dak Prescott. Y'all going to bow because I want to hear that same noise. That same energy, that same noise.
No doubt, bro. With that being said, man, you brought some great points up, man, and I really appreciate you going all in like that. But let's go, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Oh yeah, one more thing. How about those Cowboys?
How about them, baby? That's for my guy, Cowboy 1992, man. Just in here delivering all type of good stuff for us, man. I will say this, though. Collectively, some people don't know what they have until it's gone, and hopefully the Cowboys will still stand tall. He named a whole bunch of things, but one thing he missed out and left out. Naming all of those quarterbacks, the expectations was still the same. Super Bowl or bust. Let me know if I'm wrong. I got my guy for the 614. Montana, you're live on the Nation, baby.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Man, doing good, man. Can't complain, Chief. Talk to me, man.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, I ain't want much. I just wanted to say thank you for doing what you do, brother.
I appreciate that.
You keep it going, you know? I'm sorry that you had to go through what you went through with your mother.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you got my DM, but I've been there before with a parent. It wasn't quite my mother, but it's been about 3 years since I lost my father. So, and I was very close with my dad, you know what I mean? So I know what you're going through. I just wanted to call and say thank you.
No doubt, man. I appreciate that.
I love your passion. Your passion, dude. It gets me excited when I see you come on live and drop the knowledge that you drop, brother. And that's all I just got for you today is I just want to say thank you, man.
I appreciate that, bro.
Doing what you're doing.
Yes,
Have a
indeed,
good day,
man.
bro.
That's a good call from my guy, Choctaw, Montana, man. Let's go to my guy, Coop, from the 408. You're live on the Nation. Talk to me.
Hey, Big Law.
What's good?
Big Law, it's good to hear from you, brother. Hey, I got to chime in on all of this Dak and Trey and Jerry Jones conversation. Let me lay something down for my people, because I can't go back and forth with my fellow Cowboy fans. I can't cry with you. I can't get all in my feelings with you on this, because I know the truth about it.
Mm-hmm.
So let me say this first and foremost. I remember, I'm an OG with it. I remember before Peyton Manning won any Super Bowls, before John Elway won any Super Bowls, they got talked about like dogs until they finally won a Super Bowl. And so I understand and I remember that. And so that's what Dak's dealing with, and he's just going to have to deal with it until he get over that hump, and I'm fine with that. But I also understand what this Trey Lance thing really, really is. Trey Lance didn't play his senior year because it was the COVID year.
Right.
He hasn't actually really been on the field for about 4 years.
True.
So Trey Lance, he has not played a lot of football. He had a hand injury that caused them to have to go through a process of changing his throwing motion. My guy is coming in here fresh, as a fresh piece of clay. And what Jerry Jones saw was, he saw a 6'4" version of somebody who could potentially be a 6'4" version of Dak. And he said to himself, I want to put this guy behind Dak because Dak is the perfect person for him to watch and figure out how to play this game the Cowboy way.
Right.
This has nothing to do with disrespecting Dak. This has to do with, I'm going to invest in something because I got Dak.
Right.
And I feel like Dak's the best thing for this young man. And this young man, by the time he's 28, 29, Dak will be on his way out of the league, and this man might be just hitting his stride. And so everybody running around here acting like Dak should feel some kind of way, Dak's about to be upset. Dak's not worried about this dude. Dak got plenty of bread, and Dak's got plenty of credentials. Dak knows that this guy's not taking nothing from him.
He's not, man.
Still Dak's little dude.
And just to jump in,
little dude.
Just to jump in, it's the wealth effect. When you have liquidity, the more the liquidity preference theory thinks of it just like this. Those who have more, they invest more, right? So the Cowboys, pretty much, we're stacked on the offense with the wide receivers, also with the tight end, believe it or not, even if it's the area of the unknown, with our running backs, as well as with our offensive line, because a lot of people fail to realize normally you have 1 or 2 good offensive linemen, but we're going to finish this thing out with technically 4 good offensive linemen if these boys can stay healthy. One can argue is all 5 is good, because the only reservation you may have is Tyron Smith, right? But if healthy, he's a good offensive line. So with liquidity now, you want to look at it and say, how can I better my best with this roster? This guy got high upside. All we can do is lose out on a 4th-round draft pick, but we paying the guy $940,000 now. Let's go ahead and make this necessary investment. I trust Will McClay to figure out what we can do to be out of their avoidance area for next year, out of their 4th-round draft pick that's going to be missing. So greatly divided with this information. I appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Good conversation from my guy Coop, and I hope you guys are understanding what we are saying with that. And if you have a little money, invest it. Don't just put your money into the bank accounts and sit there and wait for next year to see if you're gonna double it from there. Don't be having all that money just in your savings. Move your money around. This has become an investment law, right? Go get some life insurance if you can, if you don't have it right now. You know what I'm saying? Let me quit talking too much deep on that. But you go get those things. You secure your future. If your 401k matching, match it to the top. That's free money. There's some people that, nah, I'm only going to contribute a little bit in it. No, match it. That's free money. You definitely ain't going to need it today, but down the line tomorrow, you just never know. Shoot, just never know. You ain't finna hit 72 anytime soon. Get you some IRAs, man. Get you benefit and bless yourself with this, right? But there's a lot of people, and I know 70% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. I get all of that. But the other percentages is not, because they are investing. They get extra money. They're not using it and throwing it away. They're putting it back so that they can get the right proper returns. Rainy day funds and all of that great stuff. Ain't that right for my guy from the hotline of the VIP area? Talk to me, man. You're live on the Nation.
Law, it's VIP, baby.
Yeah.
Law, it's official. I'm on your heels this year.
Yeah.
Every time you go on, I'm going to come on after you on my YouTube. But anyway.
Appreciate it, bro.
Let me get down to the stats about my quarterback. Because you know I get real emotional about my quarterback.
Yeah.
If there's any e-girls out there, let me ask you this. What does 8-3 mean to you? If you ran up on me and we just fighting, 8 out of 3 times I beat you down, are you talking ish to me?
Yeah. I see where you're going with it. Yeah.
So what are we talking about? We're looking up at them. How are we looking up at the e-girls if Dak is 8-3? Come on, man. Like, we got to look. Some people, this is what I tell my sons and my nephews. Don't make lifetime decisions based off of part-time emotions. And a lot of my Cowboy Nation follows suit with that.
Yeah.
Like, they get all emotional. They forget about everything else. They have no foresight in mind. They just worry about what's going on in front of their face instead of what's going on tomorrow. What Mike McCarthy, Big Mike, I'm calling him, what he did for Dak that last game gave Dak foresight.
Yeah.
I'm not going to break foresight down to the illiterate. Y'all look it up. But that gave him foresight on game planning. And I know you know what I'm talking about, Law. So now when Mike calls a play in his ear, he knows exactly how the play should play out, what's Mike's thought process, and everybody is in tune now. There ain't going to be 7 hooks, 45, 21 dives. Look, what we need to be worried about right now is this 53 cut down. I want the kid, what's the kid that was running back last, 43? What's his name? Luke, what's his name?
Hunter Lukey.
I want him.
Yeah.
He's a difference maker, Lord. What you think, Lord? I need him. I want him on the 53. We got to get rid of a tight end for home. 84 got to go. He's on the chopping block.
Man, I'm looking at upside. Yeah, I'll figure out a way to keep Hunter on this team, and I don't want to hear the story of the situation where it's, we thought we could sneak him on the practice squad. No, that dude exhibit too much last game. I'm willing to roll the dice to have him on this team, and I'm willing to
sacrifice
Sean McHugh, and I'm going to sacrifice Sean. We'll bring him back. You know what I'm saying? It's been 3.5 years now, Sean. You can circle back, man.
Yeah, he gonna make the practice squad. So players like that, that's what we need to be worried about. Dak is under contract with no trade clause. So what are you talking? I heard your boy Jerry's son on yesterday saying, no, we trying to negotiate with that. We know his cap hit next year.
Yeah.
Like, see what I'm saying? These people don't understand that they have already cashed in on a $2 billion deals, bro.
Yeah. And sometimes VIP, sometimes you got to look at the bigger picture on all of it. I was watching this show the other day called Ultimatum, right? And they get these people that have been in relationships for a minute, right? But they're not willing to jump the broom yet, And for those who not of that culture, that means marry, right? So they deliver an ultimatum, right? And the ultimatum is either I'm going to date someone else, right? or we going to figure this thing out and live together and be married, right? So the ultimatum show allows you to date other people. But so there was this one guy that was 28, 27 years old, 27, 28 years old. His lady was 31, right? And she gave him the ultimatum, right? She said, hey, you going to be with me, bro. You know what I'm saying? And if not, we're going to date other people. But you know what happened? What she didn't see? You know what she didn't see, VIP? She didn't see that.
Sacrifice.
Because on the ultimatum, shoot, there was a 24-year-old, you know what I'm saying? that had everything put together, and whatever he was willing to wait, she was willing to wait. They was willing to go together to each other. So she ended up being on the outside looking in because she the one delivered the ultimatum. She was the one that said, hey, you going to marry me. You know what I'm saying? If not, then I'm going to see someone else. But when she saw that smooth with another Swede that was like 24, you know what I'm saying? And she 31, it was nothing she can do about it. His mind was already fixated like, shoot, I get this one right here. She sees my vision. She sees my dream. So that's the same thing technically with the Cowboys. Jerry Jones delivered the ultimatum. Now, it can go both ways. If my guy Dak Prescott blows up and do crazy things this year, Dak got the whole world in his hand because he's gonna be looking at it like, shoot, Jerry.
My quarterback will deliver 5K with 40 tubs this year.
Yeah, man, that's gonna be.
He was already scratching at the surface of 5K a few times.
Yeah.
So let's not act like it's foreign. And all his passes are going to be those short, quick slants. Bang.
Yeah.
And for everybody that's on this number 15, I know now everybody's on him. I watched that game 3 times. He cannot throw the deep ball accurate. He has problems throwing the deep ball accurate. I like him. I like his heart. He has problems with the. I saw 3 touchdowns. He fumbled. He drooled over himself over.
Yeah.
So it's not that I don't like him. I think the kid got potential, but let's not. Trey is a different. He's cut from a different cloth. Yeah. People don't understand that. Let Trey get his wing. Let Trey get his battery in his back from Dak, and we don't need him now. We don't need him. He's learning from the greatest teacher right now.
Yeah. Ooh, man, I appreciate you, man.
You know what, Law? I'm gonna end it with this, Law, because I was hearing everybody talk, and I remember my prom, Law. I went to the prom with one girl, and I left with another girl.
Dang.
And I made that mistake when I was young, Law, and I regret it to this day because me and the girl that I went to the prom with, we still good friends.
Hey.
But the girl that I made that sacrifice with, I don't even know her to this day.
Man, you're wrong, man. I'll tell you as a friend and as a brother, man. hey, Luther said, love the one you with. Old folks say, ride the horse you rode in on with, man. Come on, man. I appreciate you, VIP. Let me hear you say it before I let you go, man.
All I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? It's the ride for 6. Let's get it, baby.
Let's go, man. Come on.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog.
Come on.
Come on, man.
Don't y'all be doing the ladies like that, man. So he'll let the other one walk home by herself, man. Come on, man. Here's a player right there. But, hey, I'm glad that he fostered that relationship and they are still in good graces. But, man, love the one you with. She's a queen to be. From the 910, you're live, Queen. You're on the Nation. Talk to me.
Good afternoon. I hope you can hear me because it's kind of loud in here today.
Yeah,
can you hear me?
You good.
Huh?
You good. I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm just calling in reference to the Trey Lance situation. I don't think it's such a big deal. I don't think Dak's pressured by it at all. If you look at the whole semantics of everything that surrounds it, he should feel no pressure.
Okay.
Also, Jerry Jones, like Uncle Shaw said, he grown, that's his team.
Yeah.
He can get what he want to get for his team, And they forget what Dak majored in college. He has a master's degree in the field, and so, none of this stresses him out. If anything, it encourages him, or builds him up. You know, and also he's one of those people, he's not selfish. He's going to help Trey Lance.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't have it in his heart to be one of those people like his predecessors that didn't want to help him.
Right.
When he came in the league. You know what I'm saying? And also, as far as Jerry them being nefarious with the way that they handled the Trey Lance situation, I don't think that there was any type of nefariousness to it. They had an opportunity and they took it. They didn't have time to be calling and consulting Mike McCarthy and calling and consulting Dak.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to do it anyway. So everybody's just making a big deal. And I hope Dak sees that. And I wish the Knicks would wake up. Lord, I'm so sick of this Dak stuff. I don't know what to do.
Oh, my goodness.
Anyway, love the team. Cowboy Nation, y'all let them hang.
Yeah.
And stop paying attention to them 4-letter, 3-letter, 6-letter network.
Yeah.
And listen to Law Nation them, and then you'll know what's really going on.
Yes,
How about
indeed.
the Cowboys?
How about them to the window, to the wall, baby? Yeah, yeah.
Slap one down your wall.
Let them hang, baby. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Y'all put new media down in the chat. I love seeing NU media if y'all can, because this is what we do. This is what we do. And give a round of applause to my brother from another mother, Brother L, man. We was out there. He was in the sweat equity with us out there at practice, man. I appreciate Brother L. He took real good care of us, man. He was the cameraman on one of the videos. I know he ain't looking for the spotlight like that, but Brother L, man, he's a cool, calm, and collected brother, man, who also helped us out in so many other things. So he's an enforcer now. So give a round of applause to Brother L. Hey, man, he earned that one, man. He earned that one. So, Numa. Yeah.
Spartan! What is your profession?
Come on, y'all. Y'all know how this goes, man. Let's rock with it, man. We got still a lot of people in here. We're gonna get to all of you all. We're gonna open it up, keep it open for another 2-3 minutes, and then we're gonna shut the phone line down. We're gonna lock it up. So everybody that's in here, we're gonna get to you. 325, you're live. Talk to me, man. 325. All right. And we will circle back to you, 325. 862, you're live.
Hey, Long, this is Mr. Golly from Jersey.
From Jersey, okay.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, listen. Yeah, man, I just want to let you know, man, I've been watching for a couple of years. I finally got a chance to really talk to you, and I want to give condolence on, what happened in your life, and we've been praying for you.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Cooper Rush. In case people forgot, there was a time that Cooper Rush actually was going on an interview with I think it was the Cincinnati Bengals.
Right.
And something happened.
Uh-huh.
And I think Jerry gave him a little contract or something like that. I think that's what happened. What I'm looking at since Trey came into the picture is that Jerry, I don't think that Rush is going to be with the Cowboys at the end of the year. I think something's going to happen with them. Okay? I just want to put that out there. Okay? Also, I was watching the Skip Bayless show, with Michael Irvin and all that. I wanted to say something, and this was everybody. Every time they talk about Dak Prescott and those 17 turnovers, can they do me a favor? Can they put it out on the video and then explain to exactly that it's 17? They can't do that.
No.
Because you know why? Because then they shoot themselves in the foot.
Well, before you go to that point, guy from Jersey, here's the thing. The Dallas Cowboys, I played a clip earlier, about what Kyle Shanahan said about even Trey Lance when he broke his hand, right? That they had to rearrange and do different ways as far as throwing the ball, right? And he had a situation that they had to end up pulling him and letting Garoppolo back in. And that's happening to him, right? Can you imagine breaking your thumb? You know what I'm saying? That what separate us from most creatures out there. The opposable thumb. That thumb grips the ball. And not a single soul bring this up when they talk about the INTs, right? And not a single soul on the ball, get off and delivery, on how difference of the grips and the spin and the trajectory of the ball and the touch of the ball. Shoot, if I break one of my fingers, man, I'm putting in all my time. Shoot, but nobody brings up the fact that the man had a broken phalange out there, man, and still was able to stay afloat when his number was called. So people don't add those things in context, man. But go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say one more thing. I did a little research. And this is for those Eagle fans, because people always talking about Dallas didn't win the Super Bowl in the last 27, 25, 26, 27 years, whatever. So I did a little history. Eagles existed, started back in 1933.
Right.
Okay? They went to the Super Bowl 4 times. It took them 85 years to finally win a Super Bowl.
85 years. But you know what they're going to say? They're going to fight you, though. In 1938, it was like 5 teams in the league, and they won world something. People that look like me couldn't even go to the game. You know what I'm saying? They want to count them. I'm sitting like, come on, man.
When you open Pandora's box,
right?
Everybody's fair game. Everybody's fair game.
Yes,
but like I said, I'm gonna let you go because I know you got more. Right. You definitely have more callers, but I'm telling you, Law, I really appreciate what you've done.
Right.
Like I said, I'm from Jersey. I've been watching for the last couple of years. Keep doing what you're doing, man, because I would love to have you guys out there, Scott Steele, the Vaj, going against these so-called professionals. And you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I already know, bro. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Let's go.
And how about them Cowboys? And they will win. And Trey Lance, what I want to say, one more thing about him is that they really upset, a lot of the 49ers fans upset because Trey is going to haunt them. I think I give Dak maybe about another 3 or 4 years, only because I think we're going to hit the Super Bowl at least twice.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure. And now they got a young player, and he can't wait to go against Philly. That's all I got to say.
No doubt, man. That's going to be a good call from those people who want to rebut that. But I will say this, though. When we go into the Super Bowl, they're going to have a statue of Dak Prescott by a sky mirror. I ain't going to even lie to y'all. If we go to that doggone Super Bowl, he's going to be cemented in as one of those Cowboys greats because of the old hoorah with all what's going on in these years or what have you. And if Jerry Jones got more years behind him than in front of him, and we all know that, right? But at the end of the day, he might outlive us all, though. You know, we never know. Ain't that right, Point Dexter? Phone number 3, baby. You live?
What's up, my boy?
Nothing to it, man. We great over here, man. We great.
Hey, man, it's time to get the hype started, man. It's time to get the hype started. We've got 25 players in bubble wrap, and we've been to unleash them. We got a lion that's been trapped in a cage, and he's ready to come out. He's ready to roar.
Yeah.
Man, ain't you excited about this year, man? All this stuff about Trey Lance, man, that's a blip on the screen, man. You know, maybe we might use him in some RPOs late in the year, you know what I mean, or something like that. But we ready, man. We ready to get at it. I'm ready to see this team in action. Ready to see this new coaching staff. I'm ready to see Dak Prescott. He came in. I don't know. Have you ever seen another quarterback call plays in the preseason?
Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers used to do that. You know, so that's a philosophy mindset that Mike McCarthy liked to bring and elevate. And I talked to Jermichael Finley, who played with Mike McCarthy and know Aaron Rodgers personally. You know, he likes it more of a mental mindset. He want to know if these guys can get it in the classroom before they make it to the field. And I like that aspect out of Mike.
Well, that got an A++. Okay.
Yeah, he got an A+ on that assignment. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. He did his thing, man. And look, I'm just looking forward to it, man. I don't, Dak Prescott, they was talking about if you got, man, Dak Prescott that had pressure from day one. Listen to the 3-letter, the 4-letter. They're gonna try to trip him up at it. He don't worry about all that. So why we worried about it? I know Dak ain't worried about it. Yeah. Hey man, I got to get out of here. but I just had to get in, get some of that good old law love that I always like to get, and say, how about them Cowboys?
How about them, man? That's my guy, Poindexter, man. Always jumping in with great insights and knowledge of it. All right, I got the next caller, John, on the Riverside, man, from 951. You're live, John. You're live on the Nation. Talk to me.
Am I live or am I live?
You're live, Live, man. What's good with you, man? Talk to me, man.
Come on, Law, man. There's too many ways to skin a cat, man. So we can break this down and however we want to do it. Mm-hmm. But I called you to let you know this right here.
Right.
I think that with all this talk about Trey Lance, all this news, this breaking news, everybody's focused on Dallas. But this is what we missing right here.
What we missing, bro?
This is what we missing. How terribly the 49ers handled this situation.
Yeah, they did.
How bad they handled this situation. Yeah. And I think that we're letting them off the hook for it, because here's what we know. We know that there has never been a first-round quarterback that was picked in the first round that got four starts, and then got the boot after those four starts.
Yeah.
That has never happened. If you can find it, you let me know. But I looked it up, and that has never happened.
Yeah.
This man only was able to start 4 games for him. 49ers just went to the Super Bowl, and for some reason they started to get an itch and say, hey, we need another quarterback. And so the following year, they were at pick 12. They said they went as far as, okay, here we'll give you 3 first-round picks to get this guy. That should tell you how they felt about Trey Lance in the first place. That should let you know everything how they felt about this man. And then during training camp, Trey Lance was the unquestioned starter going in at 2022. So they were trying to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. So if 2022 he was the unquestioned starter, you went through training camp all that year, and then the following year he breaks his leg, or something happened to his leg in week 2, and then here comes Brock Purdy, and then this year you say, oh yeah, we got to get rid of him. Something's not adding up, man, because he didn't get to practice all last year. It just seems like they treated this so poorly, man, and we letting them off the hook for what they did with this guy, you know. And so I just feel like that there's something going on a lot that we don't know.
Right.
And we should keep our ears to the soil, because Kyle Shanahan, and I heard watched the interview, he said, man, he felt like he did Trey wrong on this.
He did what he said.
You know, he felt bad. He felt bad about how he handled it. You know, and John Lynch too. So I think we shouldn't let them off the hook for this. And also, I do believe that this young man can be something in this league, be something on this team. And it's not to say that, you know, Dak, it doesn't say anything about Dak that, you know, with this guy coming in. But I will say this is how I feel. Mm-hmm. I believe that it will, you know, I mean, picture yourself in Dak Prescott's shoes. You just said, you know, if we get Jonathan Taylor, you know, how is Tony Pollard gonna feel about that?
I mean, he gonna feel bad. He gonna be like, "Damn, dog," but you know, he ain't gonna leave that money on the table though. He gonna still play.
No,
yeah,
no. Yeah. So emotions are involved when you're at your workplace. Yeah. Is what I'm trying to get at. You know, you don't want to go to any job and they treating you like dog crap. So you know, and so that you got to keep in mind of the 53 people that's already there, that's gonna be there tomorrow. You know, and it just seems like Jerry Jones, you know, regardless if he took Dak into consideration or not, you got to believe that Dak, he won't tell you and me in the media But yeah, he's looking over his shoulder, man. He you know, even from the interview that I've seen, he didn't seem, you know,
he wasn't like,
all the
yeah,
way
man, they
good with
feeding
that.
me ice cream. Nah, he was like, man, this some beet juice right here, man. You know, this ain't the flavor that I want. You know, beet juice flavored ice cream. I wanted some doggone vanilla at least. But hey, they didn't do that for him. And the Cowboys, man, pretty much on offense, and we wait for cut day. But there's really technically no holes. No holes. Where the holes at? You know what I'm saying? Where the holes at? You know?
My holes, I would probably put the hole.
Your weakest spot, far as depths, is the unknown of the backup quarterback. You know, Cooper Rush. Yes, he played good for us, right? He was solid. He bus driver, but he's the deepest hole. He's the biggest hole that you can find. So they're like, shoot, let me go plug that hole with a dude that got potential, high upside. Let's go.
Yep. And you know what? I just learned something, man. You just said there's no hole. A hole is meaning that you just don't got nothing there, man. It's just bad. You know, I just received that from you right now. So there's no holes at all, brother. I received that. Yeah. And that's how the train gonna roll. And Trey Lance, like I said, he's gonna grow. But if you believe for 1 second that Dak emotions and his heart ain't, you know, feeling kind of way about what just went down with this trade, right? I think you got to be tripping on something, because that's just what it is, brother. No but doubt, that's man. My take on it. That's my take on it, man. I thank you.
No doubt, man.
God bless you.
God bless you, John, man. Appreciate it, man. All right, I got my guy. Let me see. Let me give these. I'm gonna circle back to you, Chris, man, because you've been holding on. 469. Are you ready now for your mind?
Yeah, man. What's going on, love?
I'm going pretty well, man. Hold on. Let me lock it up right quick for those who.
The conference has been locked.
We're going to be locked in. So go ahead. Give me what your thoughts are and everything.
All right. I feel like this Trey Lance thing, well, first off, I feel like when anything that happens to us, I feel like us as a fan base, the media, they're going to be the media regardless. Yeah. For us as a fan base, I feel like we are the worst and best fans when it comes to things like this. There's been so many narratives. Oh, Trey Lance, he's about to take that. No, he's not going to take that shot.
Yeah.
And the most important thing, if Dak goes out there and takes his team all the way, Trey Lance is an absolute afterthought.
Yeah.
He's an afterthought. So, I mean, you know, we just got to go out there and take care of our business.
We do.
I think we'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? And one last thing about this, about the 53.
Mm-hmm.
I was hearing what you were saying about the Hunter kid and Sean.
McEwen, yeah.
Yeah, I think Linda Wells was saying that, hey, like, he really likes McEwen. So, how do you feel about that?
Man, arm wrestle, man, and fight to the bitter end. You know, whoever the running back coach is, and if I'm, that's when the quarterback probably had to step in and say, hey, I need weapons, man. I need somebody, if I can throw it in the backfield, he can at least give me a first down, or damn near give me a touchdown. That's what Hunter did this past weekend. You know, we seen for 3.5 years Sean McEwen get into a game, and the only game that I can recall from him having a good game was in the Atlanta Falcons in 2021. That's the last time he graced the touchdown area. We are stacked and loaded. That's why we drafted Luke Schoonmaker. He should be the fighting for that tight end 2/3 role. But right now, I'm just looking at it like this. Now, granted, Sean McEwen, he's a damn good blocker. But I'm thinking that anything that Sean McEwen can do, Hunter can do, plus more.
Right.
Plus more.
Right.
You know.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just one last thing. So, are you going to be doing those things this year to when, like, every time we have
the
home
event, home game, you'd have the
like
event.
The sponsors, yeah.
Yeah, I'm working with someone now, and we at the bitter end of it. So as soon as we can get ink on paper, we get things going for you, for everybody, man, who's trying to meet up with the meet and greets and things, man. We got to get ink on paper this year, man.
Oh, great.
Yes, indeed, bro. I'll let y'all know, man. I'll inform y'all, man. We got, a week and a half to get things settled in. But I appreciate you for calling in, bro.
All right, Law. You have a good day.
No doubt, man. Yeah. From the 325, you're live. We circle back to you. You're live on the Nation. Talk to me.
What's going on, Law?
Not much. Who I'm speaking with today?
Hey, this is Brandon from Houston, man. What's going on, Law?
Okay, Brandon from Houston, man. Appreciate you, man. Everything is good.
Hey, man, I just want to say, we fell for the wee-woo with all this controversy with the Trey Lance stuff.
Right.
Like, it's just like, okay, so let me get the first thing off. Jerry said he didn't talk to no coaches, nothing. I'm Jerry Jones. I just make my decisions, right?
Right.
But Jerry Jones his football acumen is so great, Law, that he chose a comp to Russell Wilson that, that to come work with Brian Schottenheimer and who ran West Coast Concepts in college. Jerry Jones is that good, Law, that he just, he just accidentally grabbed somebody 6'4" that just he can throw a slant, Law. That's all I'm saying. He can throw a slant. And
But to be fair to Trey, on both teams he had the best arm. He had the better arm. He had better arm than Brock Purdy, better arm than Sam Darnold, and now here he got the strongest arm here. Look, I've seen Dak throw the ball, but I know for sure Trey can get that ball all the way down the field. It's the other things that he got to add to. Mental, mindset, pressure. It's more than just arm talent that's going to save you in this league. But why not get a guy that can sit behind Dak Prescott and learn from also Cooper Rush? And by the time when his number is ready, sure, he'll be their full complete machine. But not this year. He's not going to be ready year one. But keep going.
Law, I put it this way, Law. There ain't never been a ball come off of Cooper Rush's hand where I'm like, oh. Oh, what was that?
Yeah.
Sometimes Trey, he ain't played no ball, so he's slow with his feet. He's slow processing, and he'll still make the throw.
Yeah.
When he shouldn't have been able to make the throw, it fly off his wrist. He worked on his throwing motion. Law, I had to go and be an intruder. I looked at the San Fran side of content creators.
Right.
Man, they said, hey, some of them old school cats said, man, they gave Quincy Carter more of a chance than we gave Trey Lance, man.
Yeah, I feel you, man.
And they think it's Charles Haley all over again. So I just think he's going to be a great scout team and a good prospect. If he pans out, great. If not, then I already have our sucker, Law. Kirk Cousins, he's from Minnesota. Kirk Cousins' contract is up. Hey, we'll get Minnesota again for a couple first-round draft picks after we build Trey Lance up if we got to.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But I feel you though, man. Yeah. Ship them off to Minnesota.
I just think it's a, it's crazy distraction, and they just kind of did that kid really wrong, I feel whenever he came into this year's Law, they took out all the offense that he was good at and said, no, you gotta run Brock Purdy's playbook. Right?
Now, yeah, yeah.
And Sam Darnold's going to have an advantage on that as well. But, the diehards over there, they said in practice that Sam Darnold didn't actually separate himself. So they got a lot of mad stuff. And I feel like we've been getting had for, fit for Amari Cooper and a whole bunch of stuff. So, I feel really good about getting somebody else. We already got some people on Brandon Cooks and somebody else. So I just like how we're moving. I don't like Jerry coming out and talking and, but Jerry's going to be Jerry. He's been doing that, my whole life. So Jerry's going to be Jerry, but we have a prospect. We know that Cooper Rush was never it. Well, most of us knew, Law.
No doubt,
most of us know. But as far as Trey Lance goes, it is just something exciting. He hasn't played much ball. He's not a threat to Dak Prescott. But I will say this, any kind of pressure that you can put on Dak Prescott, any kind of duress, please put it on him because I know how Thor responds.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you, Brandon, man. Thank you, man.
All right, man. Have a good time, man. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. That's Brandon from Houston, man. And we got the 323, and then we have the other Brandon from 815. So 323 from Los Angeles, man. You live, man. 323.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, turn your radio down. Turn your radio down in the background, though.
Can you hear me, dog?
Hey, bro, come on now, dog.
Hey, you gotta turn your background down. You live though. Who I'm speaking with though?
This kid, man. I'm actually in Port Arthur, Texas, right now.
Oh, you in Port Arthur, man? Okay, all right. Let me put Ken. You just been down there in L.A. You know what I'm saying? But what you got for us, Ken?
That's where I'm from.
Oh, that's where you from? Okay. Talk to me, man. What's on your heart, bro?
Hey, man, first of all, I'd like to throw you your flowers, man, along with the other brothers that bring our content that we able to listen to. As a veteran, man, I just want to tell you, man, you really help us a lot, man, and outside to keep up with the Cowboys, and you're really you're a delight to listen to, young man. We really appreciate you, man. First of all, I want to say thank you.
Man, I appreciate that, bro.
And I want to agree with one of the other Cowboy fans when he said we the worst and the best fans in the world, man. I tell you, man. I was just going at some friends, man. I remember just a couple weeks ago, man, they was going at it with some Frisco fans, and he was telling them how garbage Trey Lance was. Then as of yesterday, that same friend of mine was telling me, man, I think he's going to take Dak Prescott's place. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
Those are the Cowboy fans, man, that people like Stephen A. Smith run with, man. They run with.
They run with it,
for those people who listen to Jerry Jones, man, if you think Jerry didn't consult with Will McClay and the coach, you guys got to be kidding me, man.
Yeah, he talked to somebody now. You know, I don't think Jerry out there looking at the all 22 film and going over all of the throws and stuff like that. And he could find some time over there. You know, he could be reptilian. You know, he could be in multiple verses over here. But I'm going to say this, though. Jerry Jones is an ultimate businessman, and he's a salesman. You know, he's the one that's going to tell you the moon is made of cheese. And you fool around and buy all of the jets, the rockets, fuel, and everything. And you get there and you say, man, it's a damn rock, you know. Hey, the problem is you made it there. It's on you to get it back. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. Jerry Jones is the ultimate salesman. He's a businessman. And like Dak said, nothing seems to be amazing or surprising to him because that's just what it is.
And if you're a Cowboy player as well as a fan, I've been a fan for over 50 years, and nothing amazes me. And trust me, and if Jerry says it, hey, that just take the heat off the rest of the people, in my opinion. Man. But man, hey, Lord, thanks for taking my call, man. I appreciate you once again, man. Keep up the good work along with the other brothers, man. Listen to all you guys, man. Great job, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Ken. Keep holding it down, man. And y'all know how it is, man. No one saw, hey, DeMarcus Ware's getting into the Ring of Honor before Jimmy Johnson. Nobody saw that. Come on, y'all know y'all didn't see that coming, right? Come on with it, man. All right, I got my guy from the 815. You're live. Brandon, you're live. Yes, indeed. What's good, bro? Hello? Bro, where you at? You want me to circle back, bro?
Can you hear me?
Nah, man, I can't hear you, man. Man. You got static. You're on the wrong frequency or something, man.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you better now. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So I just want to touch on this just a little bit. And I know I'm the last caller, or probably one of the last callers, so you probably tired of hearing it.
I got MJ, I got 936, and then I got Hard Hitter. He's the last one. Those are the orders. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I just want to say this. To me, Dak should not be threatened by Trey Lance because
I don't foresee anything that can do that would make them say, let's go to Trey Lance either this year or next year. But to me, the writing is on the wall. It's clearly on the wall. Like I believe Jerry Jones has a price. I believe he will offer Dak a contract, but it's gonna be something that what the phrase gonna be, some team friendly. And I clearly Dak is not gonna accept a team friendly deal. I think these next 2 years we should be hoping and praying to get a Super Bowl, because I think that this chapter, that's ultimately what it's coming to. I know really we don't want to say this, or we don't even want to let this imagine, but I've said this from the beginning. Dak is to me, I don't think Dak is the quarterback that can take us to where we're trying to go. I believe we have a Super Bowl team that's fact. I believe that whatever you believe or want to believe of Dak, you're going to find out either this season. To me, it's only this season, but either this season or next season. The writing is on the wall. Let's try to go win this Super Bowl this year or next year. Like, the writing is on the wall. That's basically it.
Well, let me say this, though, and we've been going back and forth with this opinion for a long time, right? But we do agree with this one statement right here.
Yes, sir.
That the regular season Dak Prescott, you not worried, right? You not worried.
I'm no.
Yeah. I'm not worried, right. So you and I, you and I have cut from the same cloth with the regular season Dak, right? So we know for sure on this day, August the 25th, right, that we going to the playoffs. If Dak is healthy for dogged, we going to the playoffs. No, we going to the playoff this year, right? You and I.
We're going to the playoffs.
We're going to the playoffs. Now, when we get to the playoffs, that's when you judge Dak Prescott, right? And for fans like you, I will say that I have no qualms with. I have no issues with at all, because we know for sure that we can make it to the playoff with Dak. Now, here's what we need to do with Dak Prescott when we get to the playoffs.
Let's hear it.
Let's not put it all on Rain Dakota Prescott. Let's figure out a way, because we know we can get there. We know we can get there. So let's figure out a way when we get there that my guy CeeDee Lamb can eat, Tony Pollard stay healthy, this offensive line be well intact, this defense continue to make turnovers, takeaways, apply the pressure. And I believe if we do those things and allow Dak to work within those confines, we can win the Super Bowl. Do you agree? Do you agree?
I agree. See, this is the thing. I think people hear what I'm saying and they it go in their ear and it sound like something else. I agree with that. But where I veer off is, you guys think it's a Kellen Moore thing. I think it's a collaborative effort. I believe that Prescott believes he's a top 5 quarterback, so he has to show you. I believe he falls into that hole sometimes. That's just me. And he's not that guy. Also, before I go, I know people want to say, no, he's not threatened by Trey Lance. You're a fool if you think he's not threatened by Trey Lance. If this is a lie, what I'm about to say, Law would say, Brad, that's a lie.
Right.
That Prescott was threatened by Garrett Gilbert. Is that a lie, or is that the truth, Law?
Well, he didn't want Garrett Gilbert to get those reps from him, and that
he was. Thank you, Law.
Nobody told you to get in there.
All I'm saying is, this is a proven year for Dak. I know the Dak fans want to hold on to whatever, but this is make it or break it. How about them Cowboys? Shout out to Law Nation. Shout out to the nation. Dak, I will never let you off the hook, Mr. 2-4. How about them Cowboys?
All right. He ain't going to let him off the hook, y'all. So we found reasons that we can agree on common grounds with. I would never forget, there was this movie that Tyler Perry produced. I believe he produced it. He played in it, and it's called Good Deeds or something, And one thing I can tell you, that he was at odds with his wife, and she was very controlling. Beautiful lady, Gabrielle Union, by the way. And I forgot the other actress in that movie. But one actress was very successful, and that was Gabrielle, on Good Deeds. And Tyler Perry played the dude that, always always type of something crazy with Tyler Perry movies. But neither here nor there. The other girl was a janitor, you know what I'm saying? And she was very snappy at the mouth, right? And she was very controlling with her desires of getting things right. And she didn't take no nonsense. One thing I can tell you about women in general, and this is just me making an analogy, they know when they are threatened by someone with potentials, right? They know. It doesn't matter how much money you're making, how much time for your mind, that if you spending time with her, they know eventually something is about to go down that she can't take back. And I think that with Dak Prescott, he may not be threatened by Trey Lance, by the way, but he can foresee that potentially if he mess up, that dude could be the next dude that's sitting in his seat or being the quote unquote guy to fill his shoes. And that's just how it goes. And people that know, you know what I'm saying? The ladies know, you fool around have a coworker and he's a guy he's a good guy. And then all of a sudden he bringing this girl around all the time. You're going to be like, hey, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. That's your coworker right there. She got some curves. Hold on. I'm going too, So that's just how it goes. Sometimes y'all know how the potentials can work. And Trey Lance, we'll be a fool to say he got zero potentials, right? So I got my guy, MJ from the 206. You're live and ready on the mix.
What up, Law?
What's good with you? All is well, bro. I can't complain.
Yeah, what I was going to say on your show is that what I'm trying to tell everybody, y'all saw y'all quarterback that the Cowboys was going to draft played in the game from Purdue. That's the quarterback they wanted to draft.
O'Connell?
And yeah, that's the one they wanted.
He played with the Raiders. The Raiders, O'Connell, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember they were high on him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one they wanted last year in the draft. I mean, the draft just passed.
Right.
They couldn't get him. So they was going to draft the quarterback anyway.
Right.
So they got a chance to get Lance. So they did it. Lance got it. Now the pressure's not on Dak Prescott. The pressure's on Lance. He got a nice, easy offense with weapons.
Hey, can you say that again? Because a lot of people didn't understand what you just said. Can you repeat that again?
The pressure is on Trey Lance now. He went to the most prestige team in the NFL. That is so much pressure. Now he got to beat out Cooper Rush. And if he don't beat out Cooper Rush, then they're going to call him a bust. With that easy offense that is, if you talking about Dak friendly, it's Lance friendly now. Mm-hmm. If he can't pick up the concepts and run the right plays and make the plays with his talent, then he will be a bust.
True.
And the Cowboys, they gave up that draft because they were going to use that pick anyway. So they use it on him. Now, it's all on him now to come, practice, and make perfect. If you don't do that, he'll be what's the other league? He'll be in that summer league.
The USFL or XFL, one of those leagues, man.
Yeah. Now he'll be like Russell that the Raiders drafted.
Yeah.
With the arm, supposed to be the best quarterback, and then there's about 30 quarterbacks they got picked before Dak Prescott, and they out of the league. So Cowboys fans should be happy that they got a quarterback at least competing and giving us a chance to win a Super Bowl.
No doubt, bro.
We got the worst fans in the NFL. They need to go to. I told them they're not really fans though. They fair weather fans.
Front runners, man.
And then they're gonna make it.
They roll with us when we win it, man. You know what I'm saying? When we losing, they love to complain. But I feel you, man. What you're saying, bro. And I love your assessment on that. You know that Trey Lance. Hey, pressure's on him, not Dak. So I do like that aspect of it. And he's not being rolled out the red carpet. So he still got to beat out Cooper Rush or learn from those two boys. So it's still a good win-win situation for us, though, collectively.
Yeah. So he has no excuse. So if he don't do what he's supposed to do, that brother gonna be out of the league, bro.
Yes,
and he better get on his butt. And his agent is telling him, "Yo, man, You was the best franchise in the world now.
Yeah.
You got to come through now, bro. They got you out of there. You got to follow after that. He got to do like our receiver did. When Cox came over there, what's our receiver, number 18, Tober?
Yeah. Jalen Tober.
Lance, yes, he got to do what he did. Sit in that room, and when Dak go, boy, he better follow Dak.
Yeah.
And Dak ain't minding, because when Dak win the Super Bowl, he's going to be the most valuable player this year. I already made a bet with some San Diego fans. I said, yeah, your quarterback might throw for 5,000 yards, but he's going to have about 18 interceptions with the option routes. And I said, the Dak going to have one of the best years ever, because this is the offense. Because if people understand, they don't be listening to you and your brother talk. Your brother came on the network last year when you two guys was talking. He said, if y'all gave us Dak Prescott against Philly, we win. We did the Super Bowl, we win. Dak is very, very smart. He got 2 degrees. And the Cowboys fans come on here and show and be playing like this man is stupid.
Yeah.
Shame on you. This man is smart. Now he's in the better offense. That West Coast offense is so dangerous. We got speed galore. And then look, like me and you said, Law.
Right.
We never threw to our halfbacks. Unbelievable. We throw to our halfback like 10 times a year. Now, the 49ers linebackers, okay, ain't no more option wrong. Well, y'all just sit back there. Okay, sit back there. We're going to get a 5 or 10-yard gain on you when the halfbacks come out the backfield. No 54, Warner, now you're going to be better. And you know what else, Cowboy fans? Philly put 35 points on that defense. We're going to put 30 on them, and we're going to finally go our way because we built our foundation. We're doing it right. And how about them Cowboys? How about La Show? And salute to our quarterback, Dak Prescott. He's my quarterback.
That's your quarterback. Appreciate it, man. That's my guy, MJ, man. Appreciate him, man, with his thoughts and all of his love and adulation for the team. And he do listen to all of the shows with me and my brother. And I can't wait for this season to kick off so that I can beat him down, too, on those betting of the games. I got 936. You're live on the mix.
What's up, Law?
What's good?
Hey, man, I got to give a shout-out to your brother, too, because I know he's got to be sad that he lost Trey Lance off his football team.
Yeah.
Even though, but, hey, man, so I just want to give a shout-out to Dak calling a good, balanced, good game. Mike McCarthy did say that Dak is going to be calling a lot of his own plays this year.
Wow.
And I was like, what? What? So you seen tonight? You saw the other night when they played their game. You saw what a good balanced game. Look how good he made Will Grier look. Look how good he made Hunter look, man. I'm on Team Hunter now, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, so I also got to give a shout out to you and what you're doing with the show. I love the new graphics. I really like the video chat you did. Last weekend before last? Is that going to be a new thing?
The video chat with I do so many, man. Call-ins? Video?
The call-in. Yeah, the call-in video chat. I like that.
Oh, yeah. We're going to implement that, too, back into the folds. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool. I was like, man, maybe one day I have to get in on that. I got a camera and I got a light. I got to make it look good. You know what?
Yes, indeed. Let's get it.
So this is really what I want to say. Well, 2 things I want to say. I'm upset that Jerry put D-Ware in the Hall of Fame before Jimmy. Yeah, D-Ware deserves to be there, but man, that burned me a little bit. Anyways, the main thing I want to say is about Trey Lance, and I'll be real quick with it. The main thing I want to say about Trey Lance is, yes, he's a first-round talent that we were able to get with a 4th-round pick. Was it a 4th round?
Yeah, 4th-round pick, yep.
4th round pick, but look, if we go to the NFC Championship game, we go to the Super Bowl, that's essentially a 5th round pick, and we got 1st round talent.
Yeah, true.
Okay, and the other thing about Trey Lance is, get this, all right? Y'all know he came from North Dakota State.
Yep.
All right. It's not like he was QB1 for Alabama in the SEC. He's not used to seeing the talent of the NFL yet. It's just he's not ready yet. And I saw a video where he said that, or Shanahan said that Lance wanted to go to a team where he could compete for the second spot.
True.
And I was like, man, why? All these people that are worried about Dak, don't be worried about Dak. Dak is, to the other guys, Dak is a top 5 quarterback. He might even be a top 3 quarterback anyways. So Dak, don't be worried about Dak. Dak ain't going nowhere Lance ain't going to be ready for the next couple years at least. He's athletic. He's got the arm. Dude, he knows how to play football. But he's not ready for the game of the NFL game yet. But give him, 3 more years from now even, dude, he's going to be our man, I bet. If we don't trade him off, like we said, for like 2 first rounds. But hey, that's all I had to say, Law.
No doubt.
Hey, man, doing great with the show. I got to give a shout out to Skywalker for giving you a shout out the other day.
Yeah.
The 105.3, him and Voch. I was like, man, you better bring up Law Nation, and he did, and I was so proud of him.
Yes,
all right,
indeed, man.
You
Appreciate
have a great day, Law. Hey, man, have a wonderful the rest of the day. Shout out to Law Nation, everybody in the Law Nation, and how about them Cowboys?
How about them, baby, man? And shout out to the crew, Voch Lombardi and A to Z Sports, Dallas, Skywalker, Steele, and keep this in mind, man. Those boys are trailblazers for the amount of work that they do, but let's not leave out some of the others too, like Boss Cowboy Sports and as well as Big Game James, the Final Word, and all of those boys, man. We work together. Jay Tuck, man, unbelievable job. We got a chance to jump on the Spaces and talk to Dez Bryant. So this new media thing, I seen Landlord, man, he's killing it. BLS, Broads Love Sports, man, they doing it with Jazz and interviewing Chef Hoppy and things like that. So it's good to see that. My guy Koye and Foots the King and Shango and Mark Holmes, man, for what they're doing for the community. There's a major thing that a lot of people like to go back and forth with of who organization is better and these sorts of things. But I can tell y'all, man, us content creation kings over here, ain't nobody better than the Cowboys community, man. We got people that got like backgrounds and beat reporting and sports reporting like Mike Fisher in the YouTube space, and we got people like, the 105.3, the Fan in this thing, pumping out content left and right. We got a plethora of information, man. Mr. Rome, Cowboys Fan Talk, man. We got, people that's all over that do this type of stuff that we still get content out. Technically, we still get content out. But, the other organizations like the Giants, Eagles, and Washington, they don't have their version of 105.3 The Fan out there on the YouTube circles, right? They don't have their beat writers doing YouTube videos and things like that on this type of level. And let me not leave out Cowboys Sports Chat, Tom Downey. He's doing an unbelievable job, man. That's what y'all support. Y'all don't like us, man. Y'all love them over there. Man, I be looking over there, man, 200-300 supports off the nation. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be supporting them, sharing. Where we go get some love, man? I'm just playing with y'all. But y'all love them, though. Y'all like us, though. That's what that is. That's what it is. That's what it is. I be saying y'all love Cowboys Chat. Y'all don't love us like that. Dallas Hard Hitter, man. What's good, man?
What's good, Lon? What's good, man?
Yes, indeed. All is well, man. Talking to y'all, man, about this football stuff. Talk to me, man. What's
Sorry
on your heart?
for your loss, man. Sorry for your loss. I had to say that.
Yeah, man. I feel you, man. I thank you for that. What you got for the show?
Man, I just want to say, Trey Lance, that's a good quarterback, and I don't think he'll threat to Dak. I just think he's a future, and really that's really the only thing I see. In that trade, I think they just got it for the future. Like y'all been saying. I've been hearing a couple callers say that if Dak get hurt or something, he'll be there and be ready and stuff like that. But
right.
I don't think it was a bad trade.
It would have been a bad trade if it was a first-round draft pick or a second-round draft pick. But by it being ultimately a fourth-round draft pick, man, and only $940,000 for this season's salary cap hit, and then next year's 6.2, I mean, I mean, it's a layup for us, right? He's going to grow, and then next year, around this time, we be talking about, man, Trey look good, man, in those doggone Oxnard. He look good out there in Oxnard.
Boy, you gonna hear everybody. Boy, hey, boy, Trey, he gonna. You know what it is, man.
Yeah.
You know, but they just gonna develop him. You know what I'm saying? Something he needs because he got the arm, he got all, you know, he got all the tangibles and everything. And he ain't had that much football, so you know he ain't played but one year in the South Dakota State.
Yeah.
You know
He only had a spoonful of games, man.
He put me in the mind, really, he put me in the mind of Dak. By the arm, you know what I'm saying? But I know, like you say, his arm is stronger than Dak, so, you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, and that's not a knock at Dak, nor ups for him, you know. I seen Jamarcus Russell, you know, Indian style, throw a ball 70 yards, you know what I'm saying? So he's first-round draft pick, you know, so. And I see Jameson Winston, he's still trying to make a team over there, man, in Saints land. And the Saints team could be low-key, underrated, man. So they got two quarterbacks over there. They doing the same thing we doing. You know what I'm saying? So the Cowboys, if anything, they are in a great situation. Where Taysom Hill at?
Taysom Hill?
Yeah.
I think he's still with the Saints.
Damn. So the Saints got three quarterbacks just like we do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, God knows. So what's the difference?
You know, they can use Trey.
Yeah.
They can use Trey on some of them read options, man. Because, you know, he's pretty fast. He got some go. But he ain't that fast. You know, he's just a tad faster than Dak. But, you know, they can use him on that too, you know.
Yeah.
There's some ways they can use Trey, man.
There's some ways, man. So we are heading in the right direction, bro. Like you said, I kind of like to pick up and just try to better your best at each and every moment. You know, that when your number is called, step in, stand tall. Look,
that's it.
I truly believe, before I let you go, I think that the 49ers looked at it that themselves, they look at it like, man, they was a quarterback away and to go into the Super Bowl, right? Brock Purdy got his arm snatched up, and the one thing that they didn't want to do is destroy his confidence from what all he did to get there, right? And they said they looked at it and said, well, we would sacrifice Trey Lance, you know, and we would still have the backup insurance for Sam. The Cowboys looked at it the same way the 49ers looked at it and said they didn't want to go to the playoffs, and Dak goes down and Cooper Rush, and the last tape that they seen on Cooper Rush was him looking like what he looked like against the Eagles, right? So they're trying to patch this up the best way possible. Hopefully potentials will be stepping in, and Trey Lance should be quasi-ready by that time if his numbers needed to be called.
Okay, I have one question for you. Do you think he'll beat out Cooper Rush on down the line? I know he ain't gonna do it next year. I think they're gonna get Dak a contract. Mm-hmm. I think him and Cooper Rush gonna battle it out.
Yeah. Potentially, he's directed or he's projected to go that way, right? So hopefully, you know, they figure this out down the line, bro. I thank you for calling in, Dallas, man. Hard hitter.
Already, man. Now hold it down. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys, man. Good call from him. So we got some corrections. It says Hill is playing tight end now. Appreciate him. And then they went and got Jake Haener. Okay, this is from Game Bomber One TV. Jake Haener is a nice mobile quarterback too. So let me know how he been looking. I haven't been watching all of the Saints tape or what have you. We're gonna book up out of here. I appreciate everybody for tuning in and being part of the nation and help support the nation the best way possible. Cowboy Nation, thank those who called in. Thank those who wanted to call in but couldn't get in. We still appreciate y'all. Thank those who support the nation via donations and sharing. And I seen somebody who submitted a Cash App. Appreciate you for your love and support. Let me see who we have here. It was Kenneth. Appreciate you, man, for your support. And Kelvin Mayers. Appreciate y'all for your support. And there was someone else. Michael Carson's, as well as Wayne and Morris Hall. Appreciate y'all for y'all Cash App support. That goes back to the community over here. We get bigger and better cameras and more insights, Cowboy Nation. On the way out, be sure to hit that like, share this content. If I offended anyone, charge it to the head, not the heart. Y'all know how that goes too, right? But the Cowboys, week 1 against those poor Giants. I see you, fam. Shout out to Brother L too, man. Appreciate him. New mod for the day. Sniper gang all day. Y'all know how this goes. Be sure to check out, I believe my guy Vach Lombardi and Scott, they should be live right now. Be sure to jump over there, give them support. And we're going to talk more and more Cowboys. More and more opportunities for everyone to jump on in, right? We don't like this team at all. We don't like it. We love this team. BD Gray says 2 more long weeks until football. But the evaluation is strong because tomorrow we would know the 53 man that's on this team. The 53 man that possibly or that will lift up that Lombardi trophy. Come hell and high water. Those mans that fought to be on this team. That looking at this competition, and then, of course, right around Saturday, they will be issuing out the real numbers for the players. So we're going to have to relearn some of these guys. Numbers going to change. But the mentality still should be the same. Reb says vibes surrounding with little purple stars. Appreciate you. Good vibes. Appreciate you. Mama said there would be days just like this. The unknown. The uncertainty. But I'm looking for dogs who are willing to roll their sleeves up, to fight with me, grind with me. Y'all be sure to hit that like, share these contents. Let's grow. Brick by brick, we stack these things together. There will be many that will say, Law, you don't know football. You don't know what you're talking about. And you don't understand the game. And those many that's saying that can also understand that I never met a hater doing better than me. And there will never be a statue raised to the critic. There's 3 types of people on this planet. Someone to watch things happen, make things happen, and someone to say what just happened. You see, you notice the movers and the shakers, those who are willing to get out there, to spit their mind about the game, to understand this right here. Everyone have a reason, but results are what matter. And the Cowboys need to deliver the results. And I'm going to spit the truth, whether you like it or not. There's one thing a man should always do. Is to stay true. Never allow someone to change your point of view unless what they bring makes sense to you. Never judge a man by sight alone, nor by the height he has grown. And when speaking, keep it at a moderate tone, because raised voices turn hearts into stone. You see, in the beginning, it was how about them Cowboys? The morals of life, live, love, and respect for another. Then there are those who will try to be smart. They would take a decent man to alter his heart, to seek to rip him apart. Those man, no man shall call a friend, because they bend their lives around the truth to meet their end. And if you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep. If all of your desires of it makes you quite mad, that you don't get tired of it, and it makes you hold everything tawdry and cheap, if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, Cowboy Nation. If you will gladly go out there and sweat for it, fret for it, and plan, woo, and lose all terror of your mind. Oh, if you will simply go after the thing you want with all of your capacity, strength, and sagacity, with faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity. If neither cold poverty or famish or fame or sickness of your body or brain can turn you away from the thing you want. If dogged and grim and besieged and beset with the help of Almighty.
Spartans, prepare for glory!
You will get it, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get it, baby. I just want to be able to say this.
Damn.
Yep.
Damn.
Let's go. Woo.
Whoa. Give me my theme music.
Yeah. Hey. Hey.
Spartans!
Hey. Let's go, baby. Come on, baby. One love, baby. Prepare for glory. Baby, that's all I want to do is just run it up. Come on. Come on.
I've been really in the field. I love the feeling.
Shout out to you, James. Heavy on it news. Echo. Robert Howard. Zach. Chris. Sanjay. Common Sense and Rebel. 95. Come on.
I need them fives, need them tens. I need that change to the safe.
I need to change to the safe, baby.
Greens and pinks, it's all the same.
Watch what we tell them.
Take some losses when I play, charge it to the game.
Come on.
I'm with L, yeah, I'm
Who
with
will
T-Mac,
lock?
I'm with
Put new
Bevin,
media in the chat.
I'm with Bay, yeah, I'm with Jay, yeah, I'm with Chuck and now.
Hey.
Still the same, not switching sides, now it's about loyalty.
Come on, baby.
I mix Nike with designer, I experiment.
Hey.
You just rock what's on the shelf and I'm not feeling it. Search for the one, but baby girl, there's nothing real as this. Can't
Come
trust
on.
a soul, I keep a hand.
Never call it too legit, baby. Come on.
I've been really in the field.
Mama said,
Rush, I love the feel lately.
I just wanna run it up.
Don't need no deals, I make the deal.
Come on.
Take it to a meal.
And look, to be fair,
I just wanna run it up.
Come on, baby. Jump over here, click this button.
Lately, I just wanna run it up.
Jump over to Voch Lombardi page and type in new media. Just jump in there and new media. There's the link. Hit it. It's at the top of the page. Yeah. Come on. Hey.
Too many foes and clothes.
Hey.
I be at home alone.
Who be in zone alone? Hey.
I be on road alone.
Come on. Before we go, I just got one more news that I gotta say. I was about to go, but I had to play this one.
I talk stuff. I thought we had it, but it goes to show you who's a better team. And I'm sticking Cowboys.
You're crying.
I'm hurt. I love my Eagles. I don't believe it.
You gonna clap the hat one more time for the Eagles for the hard fight they did?
Let's go, birds, fly. Eagles,
I see you,
fly,
Coyote, Lord Nova. Let's go, baby. Jeez. Let's get on up out of here, baby. We up out. Salute.